So earlier this year, I created my own football club, Red Bull London, and it did pretty well for the channel. So today in FC25, they return RB London with a big shout out to the mod creator, links in the description, as we're gonna take this team all the way from the depths of English football to the Premier League and hopefully beyond, as the millionaire company has expanded into England, hoping to take London to the Champions League. As here we go, get excited because the graphics and everything have been made, RB London, and here I am as manager, rocking out in the shades and the kit and everything, as I'm very excited for this one, more excited than usual. Here I am ready to take this club on a journey, as it looks like some people aren't very happy with me, but I'm happy with myself, as the first easy objective is each season just one promoted player from the youth academy. Then number 2, a little bit trickier, each season we have to sign one player from London or the surrounding area. So yes, this time I'll get it right. Teams like Watford do count as the surrounding area. I'm sorry I got it wrong last time. As the hard objective, obviously, is to win the UCL title, but keep your eye open for this mystery objective. As one thing I didn't do last time, I didn't get an academy set up straight away because we started with a regen team, and that's not happening this time. We've got a 5-star scout, which we are going to send to England. We're going to start in the UK, as then we've scouted in Ireland as well, and also over in Wales, and we will make our team based on what is found here. As here's our scout reports, I'm going to flick through these quickly, and obviously you get to see the best and get to see the players promoted. As here's what's been found, and at least we do have a goalkeeper. Yes, 50 rated and 5'11". But our best player that we found is a left-wing Irishman, crisping in the kit, which looks crisp. Love that kit. Got a finesse style as well. So we're going to get promoting a few of these players, obviously, and make our first team based on what we have here. As now this is our full team, and we can say it's all young, all promoted ourselves, but there's a problem with this. We've had to promote some very young players. As Lennon, 14, he's in the actual first team, and I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Red Bull not spending money, or are spending money just on the academy, is £9 million to spend, so we can actually strengthen this team, and I don't want all that going on players. I'm sure you can understand I don't want to just go and buy the league, but at the same time, we are a Red Bull team and we do have a lot of cash. So you caught a glimpse of the scouts put out, and also I'm going to go deep defensive. We have got a team of youngsters. I don't want them getting embarrassed, as this is our starting team, and we do need that one London-based player, so we can spend a little bit of money, and I'm thinking we go straight for striker, as the player I want to sign is not Miles Leyburn, it is Daniel Canoe, a youngster at Charlton. The first signing of Red Bull's dominance in England is only 800k, as I'm sure they'll get more expensive, as that is our London-based player. And he won't be the only signing, as we've got Finnegan from Blackpool, Harry Lee of Exeter, and another Charlton lad, Zach Mitchell, the youngster. Solid first window with some academy players already in there, and look at the growth in our players. We've got Lee to a 67, Mitchell to a 64, and Finnegan 66. Can you believe? At the start, I believe each of these was 60 rated. Surprisingly good season with Chris Finn dominant. He's the captain, 18 and already 69 rated. Carnu 68, and then we've got Lee doing well, Finnegan doing well, but when we go to goals, it is Carnu with 20. He's our top scorer, and we've got everybody signed on 3-year deals, so we're doing very well here. Progression into the future. As speaking of progression into the future, if you enjoy the video and the content on the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also hit that like button. We're after 50k before January, as we kept 3 million spare. We were really good with our money, relying on youth, which seems to have worked out. Second in League 2. It is a first season promotion. How have we managed this? Literally how? We've beaten a lot of teams, and where's my club, Grimsby? Grimsby, oh my days, a 15th place finish. Still a promotion for us, no trophy, but still I'm not too bummed out as we lost 3-0 to Cardiff and 2-0 to Wrexham in the Carabao Cup first round. Out in round 2 as well of the BSM to Stockport, so not a good cup season, but definitely a good league one. Let's talk facts. We've got no one under 23, we've got some 14-year-olds in the squad, and I mean Nicholas, our CDM, is only 15 years old. So season number 2 here with RB London, and it's going fantastically, but the manager rating seems to be critical. I don't get that. Good job we can't be sacked, as we've got a lot of scouts to send out this year. So I'm going to start by going differently. Scotland we didn't go to last year, and I'm going to pick Moldova. That interests me. What can we find there? As the final one, Haiti. I'm just trying to go different with countries, as we do need our one youth player, and I'm pretty sure we'll get more than that, as we've got £40 million and we do need our London-based player. As for now as well, everybody is signed up in this team, and I feel like we'd be stupid not to sign our player in a centre-back position. And it's brilliant having the budget we do. Of course we are a Red Bull team, but I'm still going to be shrewd with business. Matty Pollock, probably my expensive signing. A player based around London. I know now Watford isn't in London, and I absolutely love this man. He did play for Grimsby, so I'm going to try and pull this off. Oh, but he doesn't want to relocate. No, that's going to be an issue. Of course, we are still a small club, as instead of maybe looking up, what if we looked down again? Going to the league we just escaped from for Riley Harbottle. Gonna try and bring him in, as in the meantime I've changed some positions around. This Kai Green guy, he's a 63 as a winger. As you can see, a lot of drills has finished for players, and I'm gonna just keep improving the players we currently have at this squad, as season 1 went very well. And season 2, only to get better with this signature of Harbottle, shoring up our defence with a good signing from the league below. As there he is at the back. Now we've got to keep this team in the league, which is going to be a difficult challenge, yes, even with signing a good player. So I'm thinking Roberts, maybe we loan him, because I don't want to get rid of a youngster, but a 62 rated, not really going to cut it at this level. So I'm going back to League 2 for a relegated Shrewsbury man in George Nurse, who has cost over £1 million. And I don't like spending that much because we have still got 11 million left, but I don't want to do a Wrexham, MK Dons, all those teams. I don't want to spend silly money. Now, no offense to them teams I've just mentioned, but I want to rely on youth, and I want to rely on the squad we have. You have to jog before you can sprint. Take your time. Grow your own players. That's why we're loaning Phillips, Kirk, and Lennon to grow them, and of course let more youth players come in, as Radu from Moldova looks brilliant. Same with Coman. We've got Mitchell, Simon, Marin 94 potential. We've promoted as many as we can to replace them players going out on loan, and we need all the players we can to try and survive League 1. As after first season promotion, man, I've just spotted something very interesting. Kanu, one of the top scorers. I'm hoping his rating is high. We've got Casey Keane, 7th on the assist sheet, and Harry Lee 15th on the clean sheet goalie list. That's not actually a good sign, but the signings have been good ones. We've got Harbottle and Nurse growing in our defence. But Finnegan 74, we've got Kanu 75 and Finn 74, who hasn't even played the whole season. Leads me to believe he had an injury. I don't know, as only 12 months on the contract, so right. Players are going to be expiring soon. As Kanu got 25 in all competitions, and yes, only 27 games for Chris Finn, but 10 goals is still bloody amazing. As our out on loan players, they're increasing ever so slightly. We've got Dylan doing okay. We've got position changes to make, and we've got Dylan Roberts. Now, Nurse we have just signed, but Roberts went out on loan and has grown to a 69 rating. Brilliant. As the first position change to make is Radu, he goes +1, an 18-year-old. He does have a very high potential, but I don't know if he'll reach it because we have got this other guy as well. Kai Green, 19, 68 rated already. That youth from season 1, man, just stops us needing signings, as I only wanted to survive. We thrived. 5th, meaning playoff football, but of course we've got to go through the cups first, as we lost in round 2 of the FA Cup to Stevenage, and round 1 of the Carabao to Ipswich, but when we scroll on, it should be, oh no, we've got the BSM trophy next. Unfortunately won by Lincoln, as we did finish rock bottom of our group, but the next one is the playoffs, which we won on penalties. We beat Derby County 5-3, and then Peterborough 1-1 with a 4-2 penalty win, giving us back-to-back promotions. And I actually can't believe it. Season 3, 2 promotions. I mean, this has happened before. I believe Luton Town did it. And funnily enough, in this mod, we replaced Luton, RB London that is, as we've also replaced them in the Championship with £18 million. Now, a lot of money for this level, but I guess it's going to level out when we reach the Premier League, which is concerning. And also what's concerning, no alarm, but the objective, the locked one, is open, and Red Bull are out of money. All their English branches lost money, so every offer from a bigger English club for a player has to be accepted. That means if any Prem teams bid for Kanu, Finnegan, even Chris Finn, we will lose our best players, but we can grow more. Our scouts, I am determined to make better than Brighton's, as the first one's going to Asia, Singapore specifically, second to South America, to Trinidad and Tobago, and final one, sticking in Europe for a Serbian centre-back. Searching for that Serbian gritty centre-back for the Championship, as we're going to sign contracts up, but it won't stop clubs bidding on them. Exhibit A, Carbezas. He has just signed a contract up and got a bid in from Dortmund, but they aren't an English club. Same with Harry Lee, but this one's from another Red Bull club and a German Red Bull club. Why are they trying to ruin their own brand? Leave Harry Lee, the Englishman in England, as I was going to wait until we lost a player to actually sign one. But we're not losing players, so I'm thinking maybe another centre-back. I'm bored of signing defenders, but them two are too weak. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got a few Colombians around the squad. They were already in the academy, as we're gonna try and sign another one. But before we try and sign him, you saw the player, very expensive. We might have to accept an offer. Dylan Roberts from Cardiff. Technically not an English team. They are a Welsh side, of course, but they are above us in the league. You can see they're in 6th, we're in 11th. Losing him on a technicality, but we do have a player in. Simon Garcia. Now we are spending the big bucks. I'm making the big bucks, it seems, as a bid in for Chris Finn. Brentford, of course, we have to accept it. A Premier League club, and he is our best player. We're losing our star youngster. As goodbye to Roberts. And goodbye, Finn. I cannot believe we're losing him. He was our club captain as well. And also Cabezas. A bid came in from Bournemouth, ravaging our team. Now we've lost 3 very good players, but 27 million plus a defender already signed, as this is our team now, and it's not looking too good, is it? We're going to swap around a few positions. Now Jovanovic is the captain. We've got Green coming on there. We don't have another right back. So what I'm going to do is get an experienced player from the Championship, Kijana Hoover, who's over in the French League or 2nd Division of France. So we're going to sign him up again on another big fee, hopefully keeping us in the Championship. And if you think I forgot the academy, you are highly mistaken, as Sajid Wei from Singapore, 68 rated, or 67, 18 years old. Not the highest of potential, but he's a very good player. Then we've got Benjamin Bakker of Trinidad, and then Joel Zhu. Apologies on pronunciation, as we've got a few players out on loan do well, but I'm just looking for the man. Where is he? There he is. Why? Or Sajid, if I'm going to call him. I'm hoping he's the next Finn, because we probably do miss Finn, and I just want to survive this year. Will 16 goals from our main man Dan Kanu save us from relegation? Jovanovic, the new captain, did well, as it's a 15th place finish, and that is survival. I mean, we don't go down to the next division, but it's not an automatic promotion, or a promotion at all, which we've been getting, Burnley and Sheffield. Yeah, it's gonna be a big step up, but hopefully we step up our budget next year to fly us up the leagues, as we lost in the FA Cup 3rd round, and the Carabao first to Doncaster at home. Playoff teams are those ones as well. Birmingham back up there. I'm hoping it's Ipswich. Just get rid of them out of the league. As the hat-trick of promotions, out the league. I mean, I would like to go 3 out of 4. That would be a brilliant achievement. Garcia's done all right. Hoover's done okay. Lee's done the same as well. But Kanu is the main man. And at least this year, we don't have to sell our best players. So the likes of Edouard, Nicholas, I'm surprised no one bid on him. 17 years old, 72 rated. He was playing first team football in the professional leagues at 14. A remarkable talent, as it's only 18 million again, so that thin money that we made hasn't been given to us. Bit annoyed by that, but still it doesn't matter too much really, as Latvia's the first place. We've got to keep getting them youth players in. Mongolia the second, and Cuba the third. I want to find another Hernandez, that Hernandez that was at Norwich. This man, he was a really good player in his prime days, so I want to find a player like that, and I want to keep on signing them. As the first one, not really a streets won't forget player, but Teo Adaramola is brilliant from Crystal Palace. Did have a mini struggle with his name, as I'll offer over what he's worth. 3.4 million should be a straight except for Glasner. And that it is. So we do have a replacement for George Nurse. Because let's be honest, Nursey boy, he is 5 years older and he won't last the entirety of the save. And Aramola's from London. Or Crystal Palace, in fact, has £13 million left. And one thing we haven't done much is go outside of the English leagues. As I've been scouting obscurely and found 2 players I really want in Jamil Siebert and Dario Sarmiento. As here's Siebert through the door first, it's probably more crucial to get the defender in. Ooh, but I believe now we don't have enough money for Sarmiento, which is a shock, 3.9 million. And we've only 3 million, so yes, we can't afford him. What a shock for Red Bull. Struggling with their money here, which usually isn't the case, and I would have liked to change Shajiv over, but he won't change for 27 weeks, so we might have to still buy a player. So instead of Sarmiento, we're going to stay looking for a South American, Diego Varela, who's at Sporting KC. He comes into the club actually not putting up a fight at all, but unfortunately finds himself still only on the bench for us, as the team, the first team that is, very, very decent this year. But before we actually get rolling, I've just changed my mind. I'm selling Nurse, putting Teo straight in the team, and that is what we're going with. Didn't feel right sitting with no money, so now we've got £3 million, and we do have to promote a youth player in Huslan Chimba. And I can't lie, did fail to get a loan for the youngster, but we failed with a lot of players. Look how many's in the reserves. Marin's a decent player, can play anywhere, and I believe Radu will leave us at the end of the year, as there's a few players leaving us. As look at this, we've got Radu and Mitchell. Actually only 2 of them, but 2 youngsters I wanted to keep, and it's a shame that they're actually going. As rating wise, I haven't shown you the team sheet. That will come in due time, but our best players at the club is Harry Lee and Kanu. Then actually a youngster in Casey Keane, a 19-year-old, but just down on this list, Edward Nicholas, 18. As our top scorer this season, looks like Kanu might have been injured, because it's Finnegan, the player that we signed from Blackpool. So a very good looking squad. I just realised I didn't show you the starting 11. That is it on paper. That is a Premier League side. But has it had the quality? No, not a Prem side yet. The tactics may be off, as it's a 9th place finish. Terrible, as did we focus on the Cup? Obviously not the FA one. And the Carabao round 3, we gave it a shot, losing to Brighton. And that is about it this season in the Championship. It's not 3 promotions out of 4, but can it be 3 out of 5? And that is the aim, because come on, look at the team, look at the players. Our lowest rated in the Championship is a 75 winger, and is pretty good potential-wise. Our bench is pretty good potential-wise. We could do with a backup keeper and also a backup striker. As you can see, we've got Kanu, 23, 81 rated, but then apart from him, only Lewis and Lavolier, or Lavoy, and we've got players running out of contract again, so we're going to get these signed up, and then we're going to spend the rest of the money. £14 million this year, less than we've had previously. And I'm going to send my scouts out straight away, get on with that again. Qatar, Argentina, and also Austria. There are 3 destinations, and I'm hoping to get some good players again. And I've done some scouting previously because I knew what players I needed last season. So I did a little bit at the end, and of course I've prioritised that striker. Idomo Amaku from Millwall, of course a London-based club, and then we've got Joe Johnson, who was previously of Luton. I think I've already said it, but in this save we've replaced Luton, and also we've got a keeper from the 3rd division of Germany. Desperate to sign all 3, starting with the London one. There's one. Then we've got Joey Boy, very nice, and also Felix Glebhart. Our 9-man bench looking very strong apart from one position, another midfielder. But when I scroll down, we have this man who was out on loan. We is back, and we is going in the squad now. That is a better bench, and that team does not need changing. All that we're doing now is just loaning some of these youth players out. Before we get more in, as there's Lavoy going out to Arabia, and David Kirk actually going permanently to Turkey. And in fact, I was going to list them all, but we've got a lot of loan deals in here. More down here, including Marin, who's just shot up in rating. And like last season, we'll finish up by promoting a few youth players, as will Fink, Daniels, and Castro help us win promotion. Well, I don't know if it's down to them, but I am starting on the league table as RB London have dominated the championship. 101 points, 11 points off second place, so we were fully dominant. The era of Red Bull is here, as I'm guessing our team's very good. And where did we finish in the cups this year? I mean, FA Cup 4th round, we only lost to Tottenham. Oh, but Carabao Cup is stinky. A 3-2 loss to Walsall. Should that really be happening? Well, when you look at the team, you can't help but say no. It is dominant, and I'm not surprised we got 100 plus points. 85 rated, and I can understand why they're high rated because I've just figured out something about this team. As you can see, the oldest player at the club is Riley Harbottle, only 28-year-old still. Our squad is very young. I mean, I thought our 3rd choice keeper was going to be ancient. 27-year-old, Hover 27, and our youngsters from their loan deals, not really progressing much. We've got Marin doing okay, Baka doing alright, our other striker not so good, but who has striked the most goals? Let's have a look. Of course it's Daniel Kanu, joined with Jovanovic, who we definitely want to keep at the club, and Keane's just playing well. Casey Keane is basically Roy Keane, a younger version. As what can this team actually do in the Premier League this season? Can it go for Europe? As 57 million, it is a Red Bull top tier budget. Whilst we're in the top tier, how fitting is that? Completed our locked objective, completing all our objectives. We just need another youth player through and another player from London. And as I'm setting up my academy, you can see where I'm going right there. I'm just thinking, do we need some older players? As this squad's too young, and the young players are only going to get better, so maybe we bring some old faces in for cheap, like 15 mil each, just to fill places like centre mid, centre back, and CDM, because we only have one CDM, and that of course is Nicholas. Also could do with a winger. Maybe we still go young with a winger, because Green is very good, but we can always strive for better. It's a shout, but for now, I am gonna get one of our oldest players, a 27-year-old Bradley Loco. Spurs do have a better left back, so he's not their highest rated one, and £30 million. That should be a deal. Okay, 42 million. That's a bit steeper, but it's the only position we really need, so screw it. I'm going to accept that. Going mostly all out on a left back because I've had a different thought about the winger position, and I'm going to tell you that shortly. As firstly, Loco, we go straight into that back line. There's now 2 left backs on the bench. I'm guessing we can sell one at one point. As the reason I'm not going in straight away for a right winger is because Green is obviously good, and now Y can play on that side. Or Sanjeev, I keep calling him different every time. Let's look at the wingers. We've got plenty of them down here. We don't need to bring any more in. So with that roughly 10 million we had left, I want a proven CDM in the Premier League to back up Nicholas, an older player, and Højbjerg is the perfect man to cheaply squeeze his way in that position. position. A veteran onto the bench to mentor really Nicholas, but I think it's the other way around. I think Nicholas will be teaching him. As will his signature teach us we don't need to sign old players? I'm hoping not, as hey, we've got our academy report back here. Chinbatin, who we sent out last year, has been pretty decent. We've got a Qatari right here, and then an Argentinian. But the main one I want to promote is this man from the Dominican Republic, Joaquin Barrera, 17, 94 potential. Unfortunately, couldn't loan him out, but this team, right, centre-back seem an issue. Also the goalkeeper, Harry Lee. I did not expect that rating. Same with most of the players. We've got Finnegan and Kanu, two of our early signings, now 86 and 88. Jovanovic, 88, and then Green, 81. So it is an all-over 80 team, as I'm thinking about someone else. Didn't we sign a centre-back at the start alongside Finnegan and Kanu and Lee, who just didn't work out, really? We did, and it's this man, Zaki Mitchell at Cadiz. Sorry, my friend. I really wanted you on the journey, but obviously not good enough when you compare him to these kind of players, and Nicholas did get injured. 5-week injury. Same as Kai Green, as where is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? His contract runs out in 1 month. Great. He's not staying long, and he's not really contributed. Then again, I don't really expect that. Our wingers do the best alongside our striker. Carnuers, come on Højbjerg, just sign another year up, please. As yes, he does. Right, now we don't need another CDM. As I have a plan for next year, and I don't believe it, we're there, 8th in the Prem. Right, I expected a good season. I don't know if that's Conference League, but still, I will take 8th, but I can't believe who won the league. West Ham United. And that isn't the first time I've seen that happen before in this save, as round of 16 of the FA Cup to West Brom. Defeat, that is, and Carabao round 2 to Grimsby. Now, I don't mind that. Of course, I do support the team. And will we get into this Conference League next year? Right, I'm hoping so, but still, I'll just have to check at the start of next season. And we start on 2 million, which actually isn't good, because our budget's going to go down. I think this year it was 57. And I have a player in mind that I really want to sign to this team, and it may take selling Green to get that man through the door. Yeah, 41 million is not going to afford the player that I really wanted to sign, as now I do think about it. Leipzig had Olmo, Salzburg had Okafor, every single Red Bull team just have that marquee player. And what I want to do is obviously get our own marquee player. I want him to be from London, and I want him very high rated. So that's why these are transfer listed. A lot of right wingers, you can see, because the player that I do want is a very good right winger. So we'll kiss goodbye to Marin. And also, whilst I'm selling these players, I didn't put Keane on that transfer list. I understand he was there. He did it himself. Oh no, this is Varela, who we're selling for 9.5 mil. And then it should be Marin. But that doesn't look like Marin. But Marin's gone. He has gone for 6 million. Is it going to skip on to another player? Kai Green, there we go. He's gone to Manchester City for 30.7. Great stuff is that transfer. But then Keane, 53.8 million. Why is Keane going? Honestly, I'm sick and tired with these release clauses hiding themselves in contracts. Stop putting them in game. I guess it comes up when negotiating, but it's all fancy jumbo mumbo, and we've got 128 million pounds, I guess. Where I really wanted this guy, Bukayo Saka, and he's at Liverpool as well, so he's not from a London club. This window's going to be hard, but I really want Bukayo Saka, so we're going to try and sign him, and then maybe a midfielder from London. 100 million slot. Accept it or reject it. How do you expect someone to pay that much for Bukayo Saka? Well, me, really. I've paid 120.2. Why am I being so stupid? Why am I chasing Saka around? Especially when it's cost that much money. And how do we get a London player? Oh my days. I've just made a serious error. Or have I? Because there is Bromley in League 2 and Marcus Dinanga we could get for under 200k. Very dodgy dealing. This is like Man City avoiding the charges. We've signed a player that we're really never going to use. As there he is in the reserves. Very dodgy business. But hey, we have signed a player from London, and this is what our team looks like. Not a fan of Coman, but if we can just hold on until next season with that front three, I think we should be okay. And also we'll be okay because we can afford just 3 months out of our 5-star scouts going to Ireland. Desperate for the new Keane. I bloody miss you, Keano. Why did you have to leave us? I mean, yes, it did help us afford Saka. And we have Kean Doherty, who looks good. Also Jamie Smith and also George Singh from Fiji looking decent. As this season, it was this man, Coman, who stepped in the midfield. 77 rated from Moldova. Not too bad. As the attack made up for it. A 91 Jovanovic, 90 rated Kanu, and 90 rated Saka. Who would believe these two would be the same? They're both real-life players, of course. And then the defense, the centre-backs, not good, but the rest, fairly decent. And we didn't get Conference League. I didn't show you at the start because I know we didn't. And oh dear, not many goals. Saka with 6. 10 assists is good, but 6 goals. He's outscored by Coman, Kanu, and Jovanovic. No, my days. I can't believe we see ourselves already 13th. Unlucky for some, definitely unlucky for Red Bull. 13th in the league, the Premier League. Look at this, West Ham's in the top 4. How are we not competing? We've won the Champions League worse off, as we lose in the FA Cup to Derby, losing the Carabao to City, who are of course the eventual winners. As I did promote my youngsters, of course these 3 are the youngsters that we just looked at, and also I'm releasing a lot of younger players. Need to hit them contracts down, and as soon as we do, the money goes up 51 million. I'm sure that was more than last year. Maybe incorrect, and I want to shuffle this squad around a little bit. Right, we need some new centre-backs, and definitely need a midfielder, as that is what I'm going to go for. But before that, I would fire scouts, but I know we lose a bit of money. I'm just going to be doing 1 scout per season now. We're not going to have a standout player, and I'm going to go to Switzerland. They were very decent in the Euros, and hopefully we find something good. As first off, we've definitely got to take our scouting off Bromley. Get back to the Premier League or Championship, anything there. I mean, there is a good player at QPR because we want to make our signing from London, Lucas Suarez, but he's a right mid, not centre mid. Rather have a central midfielder, and I've found the man already, Chris Rigg, the wonder kid in real life at Brentford. Final year of contract, so I'm just going to offer under his evaluation, as he should be in a minute. But before that, we're selling a player. Jamil Siebert, the centre-back, got a ludicrous offer from Chelsea, mean 33 million. Is he really worth that in the market? I don't think so, but I think this guy is at 24, 84 rated, Chris Rigg. Leaving us 37 million to go ahead and find a defender, and we don't have to look in London, so I actually might leave the country. As I'm looking at you, Levi Colwill, ex-London, of course Chelsea, a left-footed centre-back and very greedy for high wages. Going into the defence, and that is in a lot better, or should I say more well-rounded team. The lowest is the other centre-back, Garcia, but with the money, only £16. We're not going to get a better one in. We've just got to do with what we have. Oh, and having no more money means unfortunately our scouts can't work, but we do have players in the academy, which we can promote for our 1 youth player. And I'm going to pick Alexandra. We're going with a lot of Fiji players this time round. Seriously, 13th would be a disaster with this team. We've got 490 rated. A lot of decent ratings as well. I don't like the fact too much we phased out a lot of regen players, but we do still have 2 in the team, in Nicholas and of course Jovanovic. Also a lot of younger players that are decent, kind of fringe players, like Coman's still a fringe player, and Sanjeev, who I thought would be better. Same with Ludovic Bernard as our top scorer this season. Jovanovic, our winger, 29 goals himself, and he's only 24, as look how we've done it. We've gone from 13th all the way to the top of the Premier League. Absolutely buzzing. I mean, there was 3 teams joint on it. Goal difference did it by 4 goals over Man City. Unbelievable result, as hey, we do not go alone. We are the best team in England. Red Bull has gone dominant. Oh my days, and it was almost a treble in England, beaten on penalties by Man City, but still, we've done a dirty double. Time for the Champions League next, which of course we're going to be in, as the final this year was won by Barca over Manchester City. Now we know we're better than Man City. The squad looks amazing, don't it? But I have got a bit of bad news, as those 3 players are leaving the club. And yes, it is sad news that we do lose this man. He's going to Brentford. This time, he's leaving for a different London club. The opposite of our business, as we do have 143 million. His contract being cut has gave us that money. Still, I would rather have him, and he's in the team for another day, as it's this man the culprit, Colwill. His contract was double any other player. He was an absolute ball ache to get signed, and of course Finnegan, we couldn't pay for his contract, and hence why he's leaving, as we've got some options to steal from Chelsea, because of course we need to steal from a London club, and Chelsea finish 9th. Pedri doesn't finish 9th, and also Dennis Russo. I think if I bought this guy, it would be a little bit too much from us. So Pedri instead in his final year of contract. So if we could get him for less than 100 million, I would be pleased. Oh, but no, they won't even accept 139 million. So we've got to go and look elsewhere. And I don't think we're getting that other 90 rated. So instead, Spurs. Spurs have been very nice to us. A couple of decent midfielders, but they are CDMs. Or this guy actually isn't CDM. Alessandro de Oliveira. I think if we do get this man in, we'll definitely need another centre mid. Not strong enough on his own, and we have slightly overpaid for him. So I'm going to bring in this guy, Lanzare, for a little bit cheaper from Hoffenheim. And Francolino, a striker I very much like in this game. To make sure we've used our money up on a very strong bench. And of course, a first team as Oliveira next to Rig. And also, this man, Ajimang, is actually from Sierra Leone. That matches Daniel Kanu. Now, it's not every day in a rebuild you see 2 players from Sierra Leone, but we've gone and done it here. Weird move, as we've got to make a weird move with the academy. Going to the USA for a very specific player. They've had their luck with keepers. Friesel, Howard, of course Brad Guzan, who is a legend of the English game. And I don't know if you noticed, we didn't have a backup keeper, so this man, Shane Smith, it's gonna be your lucky day, as he's one of the luckiest goalkeepers to ever exist. I know he hasn't got any sharpness, so he might not have play. But if he has, he might get Champions League football with this team. And with this bench looking very good, I see a few 80 rateds. And then the main team, absolutely amazing. A load of 90s, and we have stopped just before, or the game before, the final game of the Premier League season, as we are actually in 2nd place, but we still could win this league. We've still got to play Everton. The reason I've stopped it before is because if I keep simming, we miss the UCL final, and I don't obviously want to do that if we are in it, as we win the Community Shield, but we lose the FA Cup 3-2 to Ipswich, but then do reply with a Carabao Cup victory. So that's 1 trophy in the cabinet, and you can see 4th in the league phase puts us straight into the round of 16, where we beat Roma 5-3. Then we beat Arsenal 5-2, and we've got Saka, who could have actually scored against them, as then we beat Inter on pens to reach the UCL final against FC Barcelona, who will not be an easy game, as they were the winners last year. And also commiserations to Leipzig, another RB club like us, losing to Brentford, another London club like us. Or London-based club, as these are all our best players this season. So many 90 rateds. I believe there is 5 right there. And top scorer, wow, Saka, 44 and 21 assists. How is that even possible? He's got to win the Ballon d'Or, as I am going to sim this with Kanu, who is a little bit tired. And that's the Premier League bottled. Not winning that game, oh my days, and Man City didn't win. Could have won us the title, but we want a different one. And that, of course, being that luxurious Champions League final, as the final is in Benfica Portugal. I hoped it wouldn't have been. I know it can get selected for Wembley, and of course, us being RB London, I would have loved to play near home. But we've got to go to Portugal, where I think we won it last time on FC24, the most successful save I've ever done on the channel and video. As can we win this one? Maybe in better style of the last one, as De Oliveira, the lowest rated. Terrible pass in the middle. And Doy, we've got to chase it again. But they've kept the ball, Barca. And oh my days, what is that, Garcia? It's a good job Loco could clean up, as Lee, he's been here all the way. Same with this man, Kanu, who's pretty tired, but he can't miss the final, turning and twisting, trying to weave his little web, and a ball through to Saka. A man at the back post, I believe it is, Chris Rigg, and it's headed into the net. Little old Chris Rigg scoring against Barcelona, from Leeds United in the Championship to London in the finale. Oh, sorry, Sunderland. I'm just thinking about that because he scored against Leeds in real life the other night. But what a header to be 1-0 up. Fabulous, if you ask me, as now Saka. Oh, my days, Kanu. What a ball roll. We're having fun here. If we can get on the ball, it's De Oliveira charging through on goal. Good save by the keeper, but has he handled it? Has the defender hit it on his hand? Or with his hand, as I'm just getting excited now. And that is shocking. Absolutely shocking. Very controversial call, as it is going to be Saka, because I want him to do his little step, and I'm going to go to the left, and the keeper just watches it. Bukayo Saka does the Aubameyang flip right there, as it is 2-0 to RB London, and we look like we are cruising. What a start, and look at Loco, oh my days. Did well to start off with, but then lost the ball, and they've took a long shot, as that's all Barca have had. Oh my days, and they've had that one there. Unlucky for them though. I think we've been fairly dominant first half. Yes, one goal was a penalty, but you need that luck, and we definitely got it, as De Oliveira, wow, running through the middle. He's been a great player. Less said about his pass, but for his rating being the lowest, here he is, picking up on the ball, teaching Richards a bit of a lesson, as he's not in his position. Colwell not in his position, coming forward, looking for Kanu. That is a terrible chip ball. Definitely overcooked, as now Bukayo Saka. Look at that for a spin. Bukayo Saka running in, needs a skill move, goes around the defender. Not really where I want him to go, though, and the ball's still glued to his feet. Still, the game's almost over. Just need to get that extra goal. Don't let Barcelona through. Navas into Mendonça. Very nice block in the end, as now Jovanovic with the Haaland run, running inside of his man and going for the finesse, and that should fall to Saka. Almost did as a corner, and I think we should have won the game. We're going to cross it with Jovanovic. Back post for Garcia. It should have been the keeper's. The keeper moving like it's still there, as the referee moves the whistle to his lips to end the game. A 2-0 win in Portugal against Barcelona marks the end of the road for Red Bull London. In FC25 has put that trophy in our cabinet. Of course, orange ribbons, because we do replace Luton. That's the third time I've said it now, as Jovanovic to lift that title. Very nice, and again, all credit to the mod designer. It is in the link down below if you want to use this on PC only. Make sure to show him some love, and of course, as always, if you do have any suggestions, leave them down below. So just over a week ago, the Arnault family and Red Bull the brand came together for a meeting. The billionaire family plan to revolutionize Paris with the brand, making RB Paris into an actual team, but at the moment, Paris FC are flying in Ligue 2, top of the table. So the brand has cut it off, going to the bottom of French football and creating their own team, RB Paris. And after doing well for the Red Bull brand in London, they've hired me to try and take this team to be the best in France. As yes, people, the Red Bull brand is back. I know you guys like these videos, and you can see me there as the manager. There I am, and I cannot wait to get going. Of course, we have got the badging game, and that's thanks to the mod creator. Link down below, and if you are on PC, you can get this mod for yourself. But remember what I said about this team? Young, inexperienced, we have took over the worst one. Martiguez replaced, but replaced with a brand new team, and these ratings, nope. They really don't look good enough. And if it wasn't hard enough, there of course is going to be challenges, as the first one, a youth player each season, pretty simple. And the second aim, difficult. We've got to each season sign a player based in Paris for FC or PSG. And then we've got to win the Champions League, overcoming our Paris rivals and each other club, as there is a locked objective, which you're going to have to wait for, as who are our best players at the team. Matthew Roy, who still is 25-year-old. Simon Aubert, he's 24, he's got a bit more potential. And Albert Robson, who's actually not a Frenchman. Not the youngest of teams, but of course the budget's what I care about. And £1 million, how can we sign someone? I mean, at least already we do have a 5-star scout in Thomas Moulin. Help us out, please. We need you to work overtime. As of course for the first season, we don't need to grow French players, but being a French team, I'm going to send him to France. As defenders is what I've told him to look for, because look at the defense in this squad. Not a rating over 60, and that's not going to keep us up in this league. As yes, we can't get relegated, but still I don't want to be bottom. So let's rush a signing, and we might not get the best of options due to the budget, as I'm just looking at this man here. Samaharo, the centre-back, 19 years of age, no in-game face, and we could get him for 600k. So I'm going to try do that. Although it's signing from a rival, we are allowed to do it, and I think for this first season, we will try our glitch, with the sell-on clause being high. Needed to be done, so we can literally just afford this signing. It's a signing we have to make for the objectives, not out of choice. As if it was up to me, we wouldn't have spent anything at all. As yes, he's into the team, but it's going to be hard to sign youth players now. How do we pay wages with 62k in the bank? Are you already telling me we have to sell players here? As we do have a lot of contracts as well running out at the club. Yeah, this is difficult. This is a tricky position, as I'm already selling players just to get a little bit of funds in to literally pay for youth, as this man's going to Newport. And then this man, our starting keeper, he's going to Nantong. Jamal Ali going to the legendary Grimsby town. And Fabio Pereira for some extra money to Bergaluru. Or was it Bengan? I'm terrible with names, but not terrible at making money, because we now have €1 million, which thankfully has allowed us to get some talent in, with Gregory Paul looking absolutely double decent. Also Bikanic, who started at this academy, and Benzai as well. He's from Algeria. And this team, apart from the goalkeeper slot, is already a lot better. And we do have a keeper on the way, so it's not like we haven't got one growing. One in the academy, as I'm just going to stick on counter-attacking, with a target forward and poacher, and then 2 hard-working midfielders in this very basic formation, just hoping to grind some results out. And I've just thought, before going into this next part of the season, I'd change my kit to a Paris one just to fit the vibe. As I got this from Soccer Deal Shop, I might not have spoke about them for a while, but they are in the description, and you can use MWS10 for a discount. Cheap and affordable kits right there. As you know what else is cheap and affordable? Leaving a like and subscribing, because it's completely free. As this team wasn't free, we played a very structured 4-4-2, which has seen some increases, unfortunately not to the goalkeeper, but Paul, 69 rated, and he's only been here a bloody season. Chavarro at the side of him, he's only 17. Benzai, the Algerian, now he's looking very decent, but I am just looking at the ratings, not the overall happiness, as that wasn't too good. And hang on, our top scorer is Matthew Roy, who hasn't increased in his overall. Maybe because he's a bit older, and maybe because all his teammates are leaving. Maybe this has the squad upset because I'm releasing all the bad ratings to flood us full of academy players, and I don't like that. I think that's why we're unhappy, because we finished rock bottom. Yes, the badge not loaded right there, but it is loaded right here, and we lose on penalties to Lorient in the first round of the Coupe de France. And there are playoff final teams, Angers and Stade Levois. Said I didn't want bottom spot, and we don't have that goalkeeper. Could we actually get one before starting next season? And I'm not talking free agents, because we have this man here. Maxime Vaillant, only 16-year-old and 59 rated. Could come good. But who am I actually kidding? If we do want to win the Champions League, it's gonna take more than that. and we can buy a new keeper with 4 mil. But the first priority obviously has to be our academy, and with the amount of players we released, I'm going to go for 2 scouts. Our best one going to France, because obviously that's worked out last season. And our second one, Algeria. He's a 4-star, 3-star scout as well. As we've looked out on one Algerian, so I'm going to keep on going with this. It might have a thing to it. We might find the next Mahrez. As these are the players we've left with, and we can only just fill a bench with 1 defender on it in Lambert, and I don't like that. But I do like our normal defense. The position I think we've got to go for first is a right mid, because Fontaine is a centre mid, who is playing out of position, as luckily enough, Paris FC still in our division, so we might be able to steal a signing. And I'm looking at this man, Andy Pembele. Think I've signed him before, but his contract is running out. Will he be here long term? No, but short term, he improves us. As that's him over the line, and we've actually got him for decent money, less than £1 million, or less than 3/4 of it. And I was gonna say that replaces Ordebear out wide, but Ordebear's just left us, and also Robson, leaving us needing a left mid before we turn to the academy. And we don't need to go from Paris, we've already got our Paris-based player. So I've been extra careful with money, gone very cheap on a left mid from the German 3rd tier called Luthard. He goes into the left mid slot, and yes, he's not the best at the moment, but 19 years old, again fits in with the youth approach. And we saved up 1 million to, of course, afford more youth players or pay the wages of our academy. And this is actual comical timing, because our best 2 players is a right mid and left midfielder. And I would have loved to change our shape, maybe go 3 at the back, but when you see our left back and right back are 2 of our best players as well, we've got incredibly unlucky, made a brilliant team, but still a 59 rated in goal is not a good thing. Cheers for that, EA. Just a perfect sprinkle of luck that when we don't have the good players. Didn't mean to see the league right then. Already caught a glimpse though, and 17th in the table. One of our worst career mode starts since the last video we just did. Still, we managed to come back though with Portsmouth in that one, as Bastia beat us in the first round of the cup again. Not into the playoff final, Stade de Reims in our division, or in the division above, losing in the playoffs. That is the Will Still effect. Losing him has been big to them, as look at some of these player ratings. They are tremendous. Auger, look at the right hand side. Paul as well behind him. Xavier doing very well. And also Bicanic trained into a left back, as everybody's been signed up, and I do like the evaluations as who could we sell for the most. Baptiste Auger, but I don't really want to sell him because overall our best player, and we do want to get promotion next year. With Benzai getting 11, Roy getting 14, and only 2 growth, it looks like his growth is haltering. So next season, season 3, I do think we get another striker in, maybe a centre mid, but definitely a goalkeeper. Definitely need one, as the budget's 3 million. I actually swear down, if we only go up to 16th, I will be fuming. As do we actually use the academy, because most positions we have our academy players. Literally our captain and then Roy up front, the strikers, are our only players here that have not come through that 5-star scout. As yes, Algeria didn't work last year, so for the first time today, we're gonna say no to using the youth academy. We are going to go free, but not completely free. We know our restrictions. Got to sign from Paris, as Paris FC still in our division. But PSG we can sign from, and I actually haven't touched these yet. Fonzie has been signed. Kukureya, Camberfinger, Oscar Bob. Okay. These are players I'm noting for the future. But at the moment, no goalkeeper. Unfortunately, Donnarumma and this guy, Safanov, who is, of course, too good for us. We'd have to double our budget to go ahead and get him. As Sirius, really? Is he the only player we could get? Goalie-wise, I guess, but I think I'm going to try something else. Go and sign Ibrahim, the Algerian, for very cheap. Why? Because firstly, he's a very cheap player we can get in, and plus he's got a bit of potential. Maybe could change him to a centre-back, giving us £2 million, and then we will promote some youth players already from the academy, so we're not spending any extra money. Because we did need to promote some. There's a left-back and right-back onto the bench. No centre-back on the bench, but we definitely need a keeper first. Valiant has potential though. 65 rated at 17 is not the worst in the world, but we need to get better if we are to chase a promotion, but still 2 million's quite cheap. That we are going to be spending, so I'm going to look in lesser leagues or leagues outside the top 5, as this is a second division in Germany because it's Schalke's Justin Heekeren. Not the cheapest of keepers and not the youngest of keepers, but of course keepers stay around for longer. And he's only 25. A lot of time still to grow. Just look at Emiliano Martinez. He didn't grow really until later on in his career. And I did want some coaches to help our midfield duo, but none actually affordable. And plus we do have contracts. All my days we have contracts. Right, they're going to be my priority. Especially for these two, Bourgois and Fontaine. As although they're the lowest rated, I have big faith in them. And hopefully they've grown. And it is not a 16th place finish. You can see we're not below 11th. So we have had some gradual improvement. Going up the table, we finished 3rd. So that means top of the playoffs. And we were a long way off St. Etienne. So definitely not automatic. I haven't seen PSG win the Coupe de France yet. As we were out in round 1, we lost to Troyes. So out again. Paris out to Lorient. Okay, they lost in a quarter-final. As speaking of quarterfinals, I'm gonna make you wait on R1. Or maybe it's straight into the semi-final with actually finishing top of the playoffs. As this is the team we've used, and you can see it's a youth to glory. Heekeren's had some growth. He's now 73 in between our sticks, and I believe he was one of the lowest. Roy is actually the lowest, who I genuinely feel sorry for, because when we look at this list, some brilliant players right here, yet Roy's always been top scorer, and this season no difference. Honestly, his age has screwed him. 19 goals this season. Why isn't he growing? At least the midfield's grown as well. These two under 20. Fontaine, the oldest of the two, and 75 overall. Also a good bench. Yes, we do lack a striker. So I believe next season what happens, Roy to the bench, new striker bought. As now we'll check the playoffs, and as you can see, we wasn't in the quarterfinal. Straight into the semis where we did beat Pau FC, landing us in a final, and we won that final 4-3 on aggregate against the team from the top division, meaning us, RB Paris, have beaten Paris FC to gaining a spot in the French top division. As here we go, this is when the real business starts. Into the business end, and we know what business we must do. The man I just highlighted, Roy, has to go, but only 7 million euros in the top division of France? That genuinely isn't much. And the first thing I'm doing is checking our academy, because the objective stays the same. We need to promote one of these players, or in fact the objective grows. It doesn't stay the same, as the locked objective here is about to be opened, and you can see it says we need to sign 3 French players. Being Red Bull Paris, Red Bull wants more French involved. And that is fine by me, as the first thing we're going to do is promote Gustave Le Bon, who counts as one of our youth players. So yes, that does mean we have to still sign 3 French players, and plus we do need that one player from PSG or Paris FC. And we could go cheap again, because I am dying for that extra striker, as when we do put Roy on the bench, it shows how desperate we truly are. And if you're thinking at this moment in time, Max, you're going to Paris FC, well, I can tell you right now, my striker's not coming from Paris FC. Neither does it come from PSG, the best team. I saw this man last season, Antoine Griezmann, as speaking of last seasons, it definitely could be his, with a very small asking price, because he is 36 years old and he probably will retire on us, but still, we need to survive. As over he comes, and I mean, he's a very good veteran. If he could just score a few goals for us, keep us in this division, I'd be eternally grateful, but as you can see by his wage, looks a waste of money with 50k a year for him? Oh, that's probably a week, but don't worry about our money now, because I've seen the money flood through and a lot of bids for this man Bicanic, or Bicanic, whatever he's called, the Serbian, as he leaves the club for £20 million. And now business can boom, as we've still got to sign a Paris-based player, Lohan Douche, if we could change him to a backup centre mid. He shouts a player to me who's going to be here for the long term, as in fact if he does learn to be a centre mid, he fits straight in our team. And also you can see he is our second Frenchman, leaving one more needed with 13 million euros, which we can't spend all of because we need to pay some wages this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend half of it on this up-and-coming youth player, 67 rated. This man Devaux, I don't know how I'm going to say it. I'm going to go with Devaux because, of course, he isn't a bloody real player, as this is the real team we've used, and you can see some good increases. The only problem I see, Pembele on the wing, meaning we must have lost another player, as how much did he go for? 50.8, okay, Auger, I'm fine with him leaving. That's a tasty release clause, which I actually didn't know he had, as now 46 million, and I did just get a glimpse of the league. 15th in the table, sits us just above relegation, 6 points over Nantes, so Red Bull is safe. Yours truly wins the league, PSG, as always. But they don't make a cup final, as we make the round of 16. Not bad at all, and of course we're not into the playoffs quarterfinal. No need to fight for promotion, and hopefully we get further from that. In constantly surviving, as our best two players are our defenders, Gregory Paul and Xavier Xavier. Probably butchered them, as finally, Roy not our top scorer. It is Benzai the Algerian and Antoine Griezmann second. 9 goals in 22 is actually not bad at all, as I want to see top scorer, and it's Victor Roque of Paris. Okay, I thought we would be on this list, and obviously not with all these players, as there we go, 2 players scoring quite a few goals. And the reason I wanted to know goal scorers is because I want to evaluate strikers. Now Griezmann going down, and he is officially retiring. A shame that, but the real reason I wanted to evaluate goals was not because of our strikers, but changing our shape. As Douche on the bench is now a 77 rated, and when I put him into this shape, a 4-3-3 defensive, we've got Pembele, who can play, but we're probably going to replace him with the money, and then Brune as a winger should be a lot higher rated. Only 2 weeks to a change, and the real reason I want him as a winger, despite 73 shooting, he's got 88 finishing ability, and that needs to be utilised further up the pitch, as we're going to go with wing play and change our wingers into forwards. Or inside forwards, as I actually don't believe this. We've got 25 million. The board took our profit off us. Absolutely shambles, as luckily in this season, we have an academy player left, Tagmawi, who's getting promoted. Counting as the academy player, so we don't have to pay to start one up. But I do think we pay for a winger and also a goalkeeper. If we can sell Justin Hiraken, his growth has been phenomenal over 2 years. We should get a little bit of money, and Valiant is a good backup. As I was just about to say, it's about time we visit PSG, but they've only one goalkeeper, and that is Donnarumma, who's definitely not affordable, but one Paris player that is. The man we scouted before, Oscar Bob. 17 million with a sell-on clause, because I don't want to sell him. I want him to reach potential, so our second marquee signing, with Griezmann being the first big name, but this man can become a big name. Surprised we got him so cheap? Then again, he's 24 years old. So if he is to reach that potential, he's got to accelerate quickly. As one player accelerating out of the door is Hiraken, giving us £11 million to try and find a new keeper with. And I can't lie to you guys, this has been a pretty hard challenge to find a real-life goalkeeper, as the player in mind is another region. As welcoming Martin Romero, the Argentine, hopefully takes after Romero and has a decent career in him. As initially it is a downgrade on Hiraken's rating, but overall the team's age hopefully carries us up the league. Hoping this season we've gone from just kind of survival to somewhere in between, has just seen Griezmann's depressed me. There he is. He's 66 rated, Antoine, now. And by the way, I designed this kit. The mod lets you make your own one. And I really like that as the ratings now here at the team. It's a good job we've gone youth because our budget's never been big. And that youth really good as now Benzai our top scorer. 84 rated and Brunette's now 84. As I changed him to a winger, he got a +2. And then I told you, 88 finishing, he was bound to score goals. As now everybody's above 80, and one player I saw score a lot of goals then is Roy on the bench, now into his twilight years, into his 30s, as we didn't lose any players this year, just gained Romero and then Oscar Bob, who was 82 rated. Very good growth as we are further away from the relegation zone, but as you can see right there, 11th is miles off 5th. Which would be the Champions League, as oh my days, does that put us in something? Winning the Coupe de France on penalties over Stade de Reims. We beat Havre, that's an easy-ish game. Then before that Laval, and then before that Strasbourg. We really looked our way to a trophy. Doesn't matter how we got there though, we still went ahead and got in that competition, as straight to the objectives, and we have got into Europe. They expect a quarter-final. We're very lucky to do that. I didn't even know we would, and we have just qualified and £50 million. Are you sure this is run by Red Bull? Jurgen Klopp, what are you doing? You're trying to ruin football. Bringing a brand into the game and not even giving the brand some money? Genuinely horrific, as how's 15 million? Come on. Going to improve this team. I have nowhere to bloody put it. Gonna be one out, one in, and we do need to start an academy again. So yeah, we're gonna have to sell a player, but it's who? That's what's bothering me. Maybe Duche, because he's already submitted a transfer request. 26 years old. We probably could sign younger. So yes, that's what we're going to do. And I am also going to break my tradition by only scouting Tunisia, not France, the country we're in. So let's see what they can find, as our first bid is a swap. Nestroy Irankunda and no money for Duche. Really good offer, but unfortunately we don't want that player. Not in this save anyway. 42 million is required because I know it was Man United and I know they'll go ahead and pay it. That's 42 million for a player we didn't want. Refreshing the budget now, and of course we're looking for a youth player, but that's not the only thing we need. We do need a Paris FC player or PSG, as I've never heard of this guy before. Gabriel Moscado, 23 years old. Same rating as Duche was, but still we've paid less money, and this guy's a lot younger. Absolutely breaking our system, as the board only initially gave us 15 million to spend, and after getting a first teamer, we've still got 18 million. So before we keep going with our spending, because we are going to spend that money, we've already paid the wages out and already got a youth player. Benzekri is promoted, but he's only 61 rated, and when I say spend the money, I am looking solely at the bench. As speaking of buying, Brentford want Brunette, who I'm saying right now they aren't getting a lot of decent bids here. Just look at the money in the bottom corner. A swap deal with Lee Kang in it. Very, very tempting, but for now, I'm trusting our squad and just helping it out with a few more senior players, such as Douglas Augusto, the Brazilian playmaker, Chancel Mbamba, the Marseille stalwart, and Amin Harit, experienced in European competitions. That's a good mix of veterans straight onto our bench, including our own veteran Roy, 76 rated. For him to go +2, that means he must have scored a lot of goals. Because he doesn't grow on his own, but this team does grow on its own. Look at this. Almost some 90 rated. We've got an 89 Brunette, an 88 Gregory Paul, Xavi who's doing well, Fontaine on the rise. Also Oscar Bob with 16 goals this season, but Brunette and Benzai both getting 24. And I saw a lot of games played, because of course we were in the Europa League, hopefully going far, as you can't see us in the bottom half. Finally a good sign. Are we up there? Yes! Champions League football. football, but still not winning League 1. Paris hard to overthrow, shown by the Trophy Champions. Or is it Trophy des Championnes? I don't know, but they beat us. And they are in the Coupe Nationale final against Lorient, as we lost in the round of 32 to Stade de Reims. Getting revenge on them, because of course we got promoted with them. As Liverpool versus Milan, it is the Istanbul UCL final. But the Europa League final more important, because we have done it. I believe that's the first time this FIFA we go ahead and win the Europa League. And it's a big trophy in the cabinet, but the way we've done it's extraordinary. As this is a semi-final, 8-6 after being behind. Same against Valencia. We were behind, I believe, 4-0. And then before that, we beat Aston Villa, a good team. We went through the playoffs, beating Copenhagen, actually, because we finished 17th. That's a little bit concerning. But again, just hoping it is one of them off seasons for this team, which rating-wise, honestly, should be the best almost in France. Had to change what I was going to say, because I wanted to say we're better than Paris. But looking at some of their ratings, I've seen 3 players over 89, 4 including Vitinha. So yeah, they're probably still better than us, but we should have been close to top spot. As can we sign any of their players? That's what the objectives say. As how much is the... oh my days. 35 million. Are you actually having a laugh? That's not enough to compete, as last year we had to buy to sell, and I think this year could be the same, because this is honestly embarrassing. Budget-wise, not the team, because I'm just trying to flick through to see who we sell. Maybe Bourgeois, because he's 22, 85 rated. That should be money. And also we lost one of his centre-backs, so we could do with another centre-back backup, and also a right-back. I do still trust Valian, although he's not grown. As do we actually sell Bourgeois, because Fontaine's 88? But then we probably still use him to try get up the leagues. That's, oh my days, this offer though. West Ham United, 190 million. Brunette's one of our best though, so I'm going to set a strict price tag to 20 million. I want an extra 30 for a bench player. And they say no, Lopetegui actually can't afford it. I should have remembered the team asking. It is West Ham United putting the bid in. But then, they come again. They've obviously got some money they want to burn. As Bourgeois, £106 million for the Frenchman. I know you've come through the academy, but respectfully, get out of here. As we've just made a fortune on a player that's one of our weakest. As first things first as well, don't you dare think I forgot about the academy. Now we're in the UCL, I want to keep growing French players. See if we do get anything decent as 125 million. Going on a centre mid, and there's plenty of good French midfielders. Such as Kari of PSG, not what we're actually aiming for. I just thought it was a shout because I can't forget I need a Paris player. Oh, and Ake, when I do flick to the defenders, you know, Nathan Ake's very cheap. Maybe we could get him under 10 mil? As no, 12 million, but still that's good enough for this player who will just sit on the bench, but brings a lot of experience with him. Great signing, but now, do you know when I said we needed a French midfielder? Here at Chelsea, they have Eduardo Camavinga, and they also have Tchouaméni, but that's actually not the last of it. As Leslie Ogachukwu, he's also here with the Blues, and the one I'm actually going to choose should actually be the cheapest. Still 100 million on a 30-year-old Tchouaméni. And I know he's a CDM, but I'm actually going to change the shape up of the team. He is a vital piece, hopefully to stopping the goals going in the Europa League, but I'm going to go to a CDM formation. And buckle in, people. I'm going to tell you what's happened this season. This is a big one. Smash a like if you haven't already. Shameless plug by me there. As you can see, we're in the top half. We're actually in the top 4. It still isn't winning the Champions League. And 40 goals conceded has me worrying Tchouaméni's impact wasn't good, as it definitely wasn't good in the round of 32 of the Cup. And Nessie went and beat us, as then we lost in the Super Cup. Liverpool 2-1, but what I show you next, this will blow your mind, because as you can see, we finished in the top 3. Paris finished 3rd, and Benfica top of the league phase. This Race of the Champions League, as in the first game as well. Another huge comeback, this time from 3-0 down. Beating Milan, as then Chelsea we beat 4-2. And then in the semis, we beat the rivals. Paris Saint-Germain conquered as the final though. Paris versus Brighton, we make the UCL final at the first time of asking, and the bench, very stinky as you can see. All our veteran players actually going down now. So the bench didn't help us, but the first team definitely did, because we've got a lot of 90 rated, 4 in the team at the moment. If you haven't seen the last video, a lot of our best players were suspended, and this time they are not. So at least that's one of the good positives. As another good positive, the same thing, is the goal scorers. Brunette, the winger we use, got 27, and we're glad we kept him now, as West Ham did want him. And speaking of West Ham, they're surely on the same level as Brighton. How are Brighton in the UCL final? With these players they've got, I mean, there's 3 actual decent ones right there. Ardagula in the squad. Okay, I'm seeing they're actually quite decent. As here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited for this. What is this kit we're wearing? Still Brighton classed as at home, and they need all the advantage they can get with our players as Fontaine on the run. It is Fontaine around bodies, a shot in on goal, and that is early days. A goal for RB Paris, and it comes in the 6th minute from our winger Brunette. That is a lively start. I mean, the save by, I believe it was David Raya they had in goal. Absolutely calamitous, and 95 ball speed. Very good finish into an open net. 1-0 RB Paris. Brilliant start to the game, but of course we've still got to keep on going. Look at the gaps in Brighton's defence. It is open. Oscar Bob for another. I can't believe we're playing Brighton. David Raya can't catch a cold, and that's surely a penalty. As still we go again though. Oscar Bob on a run in behind of their defence. Oscar Bob on the angle. It's another bad save, and the exact same goal. Brunette with the flips. He's got a brace in this first half. And for Brighton Hove Albion, this ship is quickly sinking. Amazing from us so far, but oh dear, there's a man in there. A bad save from our keeper. At least he catches the ball second time round. Unlike a certain David Raya, and look at Brunette, time of his life. Fontaine from range. Oh my days, it's close. Never seen a more dominant first half, and there we go. Another save by us though, as we've been fairly comfortable, but still they could get back into this one. Game not over, as Ardagula running through our defence. He almost got past us. Then Gregory Paul's in the way, who has been bloody good this game, and look at that. A youth player from the start. Same with Brunette, who was almost past the defence. Oh, defence. Bit my own tongue there, as that is a brilliant ball through. Benzai on the run, and Benzai bends it home. Or just fires it home. It is 3-0 on the hour mark. Paris here, completely untouchable. No chance they come back now. This is a brilliant finish. How many can we get? We've never had a final easier. I don't believe we have anyways. That's a brilliant ball around the corner now, and Brunette, can he turn provider? That is a very deep cross in the box. Destined to go wide though by Oscar Bob since he hit it. The movement though from our team, extraordinary, as that should have been another. Still, David Raya can't catch in this Karius-esque performance, as Brennan Johnson easily tackled. Devow to whack it up, and that is the final whistle. A 3-0 whitewash, and I am sorry to any neutrals, but that was the easiest final ever. As Klopp should be proud, because his Red Bull team has won the UCL, as it's going to be Sumahoro, our first signing, and I'm probably still butchering that name, and I think I know the reason we won it. I actually changed the kit. Took the PSG kit off, as he takes the trophy into the air, as that is another Red Bull club ticked off. As if you want to use this for yourself, it's in the description, and if I should do another one of these, let me know in the comments below. Which country, which town, which city, which anything, you name it, as also more videos to click right here. Real Madrid are one of the biggest clubs in world football, winning 6 of the last 10 Champions League titles. And then their rivals Atletico Madrid are quite big themselves as well, coached by Diego Simeone and have an abundance of talented players. But there's a brand taking over football. They've took over Paris, they've took over London, and now they move to Spain to have a team in the capital. As that's right, I have created Red Bull Madrid, and I am going to be coaching it in the Spanish second tier. As my aim is simple, develop the players we already have here and help the rich brand take over football more by dominating Spain and winning the Champions League. As yes, people, here we go. You can see I'm taking charge, and the fans do like it. Red Bull Madrid is born. We've been to England, we've been to France, but now we're over in España with this as our starting team, and it honestly looks like a Sunday League squad. Not very talented. Our best player, Julio Luna, who's only 23, so does have a bit of potential, but most players out of contract, and they're getting overpaid here. Plus, our budget season 1 is really not good at all, as the objectives don't make it easier, because we have got to get one youth player or player that starts here into the UCL final. So if Luna does grow, he does count as the next challenge. We only can sign from Madrid clubs. And I'm sorry, but because we signed Griezmann with Paris, we cannot re-sign Griezmann. Sorry for that, Antoine. But we can definitely win the UCL because that is the end goal, with a locked challenge in between, which probably is our hardest yet. That may cause some issues, as have we got an issue with the academy? Looking at the players already generated, Adekundul Okoro looks the best, the Nigerian right wing. No JJ Okocha, but again, he's got 5-star weak foot. I'll go ahead and promote him, as we've only got a 1-star scout. We're going to send him to Spain to try and just find some talent somehow, but again, I am not keeping my hopes up. As going into this save as well, I'm not going to pick that tactic first. One thing I want to do today is experiment tactically. I've always stayed with a 4-4-3, so I want to try something I've not before. Create a new DNA as the 4-2-4. If we try wing play with this formation, yes, I don't think we've got the player suited to it, but we can only sign from Madrid clubs, and Madrids have a lot of attackers. So this is our new DNA. We're going wing play with this team, which first season round you just know is going to get nowhere. As before we make a signing, I'm going to sign contracts up and do this. Promote some of the youth players, as these do look better than what we have. And yes, they are, so I like this. I'm going to promote a lot of these, including Marchante, Barrios, Martin, and Jimenez. Marchante, my favourite one. I'm going to place him in the middle, as strikers definitely needed because Moyano is not good enough and we don't have a bench striker, and I'm not gambling on him. As contracts are all signed up, so we don't have to worry about our current players. As could this guy be a striker also? Not a good one, but have he signs? I'll train him as one, as it takes 60 weeks. And 145 weeks for Marchante to be a midfielder. But that's not our main focus. We've got to go ahead to the Madrid clubs. But there isn't just 2. There is more than Real and Atleti. I learned from the last rebuild by reading some of you guys' comments. Getafe is Madrid-based, Vallecano and Leganes. As we don't have much money, and we're not going to get any of these players. Wow, they've got Alvaro, and they've also got Yildirim. Some brilliant talents, as we're not getting anything from Leganes. Sebastian Aller, Miguel, and Garcia. And then even Vallecano, they've got Camelo and Di Thomas. But one who is affordable is Etienne Eto'o. Is he better than what we've got? Like 2 overall, yes. But when I have done some research, he's Samuel Eto'o's son. And although he's not good enough rating-wise, that's enough for me, I'm going to go ahead and sign the son of a legend. Pure nostalgia tax in that signing, but just look at him. A 63 rated in our team at the moment is not bad at all. As the team a little bit all over the place, the centre-back's strong, we've got Luna, our striker's decent, probably our full-backs. The next to be replaced, as look at this man on the bench, Pereira. Just for now, Marchante onto the bench and him into the team is the way to go about it, because I'm going to stick to this formation, and yeah, I'm very happy, but do you know what would make me happier? If you guys hit the like button and subscribed to the channel. We're after 50k subscribers and 1k likes if we can hit that. Those are the aims at the moment, as the aim is just not to be bottom of the league. Oh, but looking at the calendar, you can't see us. I think that tells us something. As we did replace Tenerife, I've got to say that because we've already done a build on them. And we flopped it. 22nd, we did not compete in La Liga 2 or La Liga High Promotion, but we actually did get a cup win, beating Deportivo, so that should hopefully get us a bigger budget. And then we lost to Bilbao, but still to score against Bilbao, we've got to take some pleasure in it because we're not the best team at the moment. This could be a very long rebuild, as at the moment our best player is Luna, with our top scorer Diaby and Eto'o getting over 10 goals. As one player replaced, and that is Fatty, or not replaced, released from the club, as look at that for a budget, we've got £8 million. This is only our second season. £8 million. I mean, it was needed, and to be fair, it isn't too cracking, especially when this is our starting 11. I've moved Marchante onto the wing, and I'm going to put Barrios in the middle. Another youngster we did start with, and he could be a good centre mid. As yeah, this man Fatty leaves us. We definitely need a right back first, then probably a left back, and finishing with a goalkeeper. That's if we have the money, of course. There's another thing we have to do. Get a better scout, because yes, the last one did decent. Thank you, Rodrigo Estevez. You did your job for one season. But I'm going to go 3-star, 3-star. I'm going to go Esteban Pacheco. He's going to go Spain again. Look for that youngster again. And I might as well use Estevez just to add an extra scout. Getting a lot of comments to go to Pakistan to look for a player. So I'm going to do just that. And of course, I'm searching for fullbacks. That is through both scouts, as we've got some players out of contract who I will get signed up, apart from the old boys, so we don't lose anyone. Anyone of value anyway, as this is what our academy looks like. Federico Costa, right? He's going to be our starting right back. Then Lucero our starting left back, unless we could get better than him. Fuentes can go out on loan, try and see if he can improve. And Ibrahim's come through from Pakistan, 16-year-old. Probably loan him out, but still, that's good for a 1-star. Scout, as the bench looks fairly decent for what we are. And the first team all over 60, so we've really improved the team in a year. Apart from Ngolo, as I think this is our first big buy from a big club, going to Real Madrid in our second season for Gonzalez. I would have liked to get him on loan, but as you can see, his contract, it is not long enough, so it's either permanent or not signed at all. As I've had to work my magic, but hey, we have landed him. Yes, on a high wage, but a young, good shot stopper is what the doctor ordered, and he's our second best player here. As I think next up, I actually might get a dominant midfielder, as I've found this player, and if we could pull it off, it would be amazing. Mario Martin, who you can see is out of contract. So we've got to get this offer right. I'm going to go 2.8k with a huge sell-on clause. Come on, Madrid, you're not going to play him. All my days and it's accepted. Right, we'll just try and sell one player in order to afford his wage, as goodbye to Tino Martin. And hello to another Martin, Mario, Super Mario, or I'm hoping so, in the centre of our midfield. And I'd say he's slightly been Super Mario. Is he there yet? No. Is there a better drill for him than playmaker? No. But is he the best player in our team? I believe the answer's yes. As this is what we've lined up with, I don't like our striking options. And also our winger, it's Ruiz and Moyano. Rest of it doing very well. Gonzalez, both Madrid men, obviously. Marchante, Pereira, the defense all lined up very strongly. And a few players down here, because we did actually loan a few out. But on the whole, the squad, definitely not competing at this level. If there was a third tier, we'd comfortably be in it, as it's a 20th place finish. Malaga finishing rock bottom. Very unexpected, as we might not get much money next year. Out in the first round to Huesca in the cup. However, if my suspicions are correct, and we lost our players, in Diaby and Luna, we actually lost them before Martin. That can't be correct, but that's an extra 2.5 million we can spend next year to strengthen what we currently currently have. Because we're still forging a squad, and Jimenez has done okay out on loan, but Molina really hasn't, and they were our only 2 players. The rest of them remained as our top scorer this year, Etienne Eto'o, who still needs a strike partner. Which have been hard to find as we still don't have any coaches, but Ruiz and Moniano, they definitely have to move out soon. And then we can go to coaches when we're probably in the top tier, which hopefully doesn't take long if we do get a decent budget next year. But it's not. It is 7 million this year round, so not the 8 million, but there and thereabouts, I suppose. As we've already bought our scouts, Pacheco and Estevez, who I will send out again to Spain and Portugal. With the Portugal scout here, of course, we can only really afford 3 months. Looking for a striker, because after all, we're a Madrid club, and there is a certain Madrid club that did have a good Portuguese striker, but now we're focusing on our own, Etienne Eto'o, who does have a release clause, 18 million I'm pretty happy with, so we're safe with keeping his players, and the majority are signed up again. As let's focus on a striker, because Okoro can play on the wing. For now, anyway, one of the players we actually started with has no chance in getting either Endrick or Mbappe. There's Noel, but for 75k a week, is he really worth that? I mean, he does have potential to grow still, but when I skip over to Leganes, these have 2 decent strikers in Augustin Beltran, but also Marko Milovanovic. And you see, Beltran would be the option, but I'm trying to grow my own youth players. So I want to sign Marko, and I'm not paying over that much money. As man, we've had to fight for him, but still I trust this striker. Demanding, yes, but Milovanovic and Eto'o together should be the dream team, as now I do want to check our youth academy, because after contracts, it leaves us with 1.3 million. So maybe this is the year we actually hone down on our youth academy. As the best player's not Portuguese, it is Jamie Marcano, a striker, maybe for the bench, but maybe we could loan him out. Ayala goes in the team, he's a left winger ahead of Okoro, and in fact a lot of these players could actually go out on loan. Our best year for youth, as we've got to try and utilise it. As look how young our squad's actually gone now. It really started old, but now we've started to youthify it. As with no money to our name, it's just all about loaning these youngsters. As seriously, what is that? What are we supposed to sign with less than 1 million? Outrageous, even in the second tier, as I'll tell you one thing going into this year. Milovanovic, you better bloody score some goals. Okay, and he's delivered. He scored 19 goals in this season. Only a 74 rating though, which is weird because that's not much improvement. Especially when you consider Eto'o is now a 73 overall. And he scored 14, but to be fair, in 17 games. An unreal record, as then Ayala's done pretty decent on the wing. Marchante, our first brought through, and then Mosquera. Not a great return on him as our highest rated players here, as 4 of our top 5 are bought players and then the other are youth. Brilliant stuff for speaking of youth. Anybody just stood out? Garothabel done okay over at San Jose Earthquakes. Marcano done okay. He's a decent bench player, but probably another loan. And yeah, the rest of them, including Jimenez and Fuentes, bad. Still, the squad good. On the whole, I'd say. Martin and Pereira, I was gonna say needs replacing, but then it's probably our centre-back Schmidt. As if you caught a glimpse of the bench there, you would have seen it. That was horrible. As our league finish isn't horrible, we actually go and fall in the playoffs. Only 9 defeats, but no cup run in the Copa. That's won by Atleti. It's actually the first time a Madrid club's won it. Barca and Sociedad so far, but in the playoffs, first round, we lose in both legs to Deportivo. Damn, that is bad, but at least we haven't lost any players and we have a clear position to signing that centre-back slot for Schmidt. We don't have any youth there, which is annoying, and Pereira, we could go for a second option there because we don't want to spend our money on one player. Won't make that mistake again, as 9 million euros this year. The budget has gone up by 1 million on what our first budget was. Or second, whatever, as one thing I'm going to save money on is not using our scouts. Just least for this season, they might be back. Contracts to be signed though, and that is what I'm going to prioritize, alongside loaning some of those players that were loaned out last season again. As after contracts, 8 million, because we had to renew Milovanovic. So to the Madrid clubs we go, and I'm going to look at a centre-back first. As Atleti Madrid, they play that gritty centre-back football, but no one really worthwhile. Costis, but that would be all our money. Getafe have a wonder kid, Elias Pearce in the defence. Ooh, and Xhaka Bijol, if we just had the cash for him. Big fan, but with our best players currently being from Real Madrid, we're gonna buy from Real Madrid again. Not all our money, but we're gonna go for Jacobo, who can be our strong centre-half and was a little bit out of contract, so we got him on a cheaper deal, leaving us enough money for a centre-mid. And no, don't worry, I am not going for another Madrid player. I'm in fact going controversial. Carles Alenia. No, not a young signing, and the reason he's controversial is because he came through La Masia, Barcelona's academy. Gotta make sure you stay loyal, my man. I hope you're not planning on anything stupid, like costing his new team a game, or potentially the promotion we're after. Sped through that, getting our signings done, and literally spending all our money, as we could easily make some money. Now we've got a full page of over 75s. Good enough for the league above, as our top scorer was the Barca man. Alenia, I am sorry, you obviously show some passion for Madrid. Same as Marchante, Ayala, two young players, then Milovanovic. There was no sign of Eto'o, which is a thing that I really find weird, but he could even be replaced by Jamie Marcano, or even Okoro, who's done well over in Ireland, but maybe found his level. Or to be fair, he could go onto this weak bench, with only Pereira, who's actually played a bit, sitting on it worthy of first team football, as one of our rivals wins the league. Madrid-based Leganes, as we finish 3 points off promotion, as hey, we did get to the second round of the Copa España, the round of 32, then losing to the Bat Club. Valencia, I really like them, as it was a Madrid derby in the final, as we hammer Real Oviedo in the semi-finals of promotion, as then fourth time lucky, we actually beat Levante to go ahead and reach the top division with this team that we have, which honestly should stay there, with 4 youth players in it, and of course we should get a bigger budget. Now we've made the top division, I've made a choice of my own. In a bid to beat the big clubs, I've actually put my Real Madrid top on, which I bought from today's sponsor, Soccer Deal Shop, link in the description. If you use MWS10, you get a discount on replica shares. As this season, 24 million to spend on players. Was debating actually getting coaches, but that's definitely not enough to buy coaches with. We need to spend it on players, especially when we do get this objective unlocked, and this is a tricky one, because Ancelotti wants another player. With Mbappe leaving Madrid, which I didn't know, that's very interesting. He wants to sign the striker from our club, now he's heard of Red Bull. So I can add 10 million to the bank account, but our highest rated striker is gone. He's going to transfer to Real Madrid. As there he goes, Etienne Eto'o was the highest rated at 79, as we do get to add 10 million, but we could have sold him for 23. An objective that hasn't helped us, but as you can see, 34 in the bank. But didn't they say Mbappe's left? I want to see where he's actually gone. Oh my days, Ruben Amorim has worked wonders. He's getting paid a lot of money, but he's transferred to Man United. As now not only have we lost Eto'o, we also can't sign Mbappe at any point. And I really hate that fact. It's making me angry. I'm going to take this top off. Going back to my old favourite one, I do like a dark football kit. As another thing we've got to watch as well, Aguirre retires at the end of the season, as now we probably need more positions, but I'm looking for a replacement striker. Vallecano have a few, so I'm going to keep that in mind going forward. However, Getafe are the club for now, because I'm looking at youth players, Bravo, Domina, and also this region of Leva, but I'm going to go for probably one of these guys. And Bravo screaming my name because he's going to be cheaper for us, allowing us to sign another player as an in-game player face. I actually didn't know he had that, despite him playing for Real Madrid. Madrid? In the past, as yes, I love that attack we're rocking now. Marchante and Ayala not there with the ratings, but of course they're youngsters. Elena should have another season in him, and Aguirre at the back. He is retiring, so we can't sell him, but of course we can try and replace him. Move him onto the bench, give us a bench option as 10 million. Surely at Vallecano or Leganes there is a cheap centre-half. As they do, Abdul Munim, he's not the best rated, but will allow us to keep a little money, maybe start the academy again, or get some coaches, as here he is, he's definitely going to have his work cut out. As in this top division, I'm going to go with a deep approach. Because let's be honest, we had to save this team. Is it good enough to go down? No, but of course, we've seen that happen in recent seasons in real life. The prime example being Leicester as Mario Martin. I cannot believe we signed this man in our second season, going strong. Gonzalez was also up there as our strikers, sharing goals. Ike Bravo and Milovanovic, although Bravo leads it on rating. Just praying we didn't get relegated, as I didn't loan any youth out. I kept them at the club for depth, as we come from them. Come from the depths, that is, to survive. We finished 13th above Vallecano, Getafe, and also relegated Leganes. All them teams we can actually sign from, as I've just clicked on round 1, but we didn't go in round 1. We were actually in the Copa final. We beat Barcelona in the semis 5-4, and also beat Real. We went on the run of the century. As hopefully that gives us money, but I believe actually winning that competition would have put us into the Europa League, and it's a shame that we're not actually in it. Still a very good season, as I think we've just got to replace the man we signed. Munim to drop to the bench because we need a younger player, and I had it all prepared. Remember this man from Getafe? Peters, the wonder kid, he's moved out of Spain. So we can't go and sign him, and that is a shame going into our 6th season. Oh my days, and the budget hasn't even risen at all. 23 million, and I can see this actually being a quick season. Replacing Munim the centre-back and then go and getting another player somehow, as I know Ayala is the lowest rated, but I'm still keeping faith in him. Plus further down the line, I might try and sign a better winger. When the budgets are higher, we've got Okoro, Marcano. No focus into this man, but he's quietly under the radar. As speaking of under the radar, we need to sign a player from a rival who could continue to grow, and there's Koutsidis, the Greek man, at Leganes, but no, I don't fancy him. As Santiago Torres, he's a player to aim for, but of course we can't afford him yet. As maybe we do save us money, or maybe we go for an old player this year in Jose Jimenez. Knows how to defend at Atletico Madrid, so let's try and get him for cheaper, save some money for next season. As most of it gone into his wage already, but hopefully he lifts us up the leagues a little. A very solid signing from a team with a solid defensive structure. Yeah, I believe saving a little bit of money is the best option for next season's sake, as this season we want to kind of play balanced, because I don't think we'll be relegated. And I've changed the drills around on the players to give us a unique shape, as this is us on the ball, and it's kind of like Amorim's formation. And you might have been able to see right there, I didn't have this man in goal. Fran Garcia, our goalkeeper, he has been since we brought him to the club. Now, I did sign him up at the end of last year when his contract had 1 month left. So it says he's accepted a new deal, but also left the club. Maybe we need to buy a goalkeeper alongside another centre-back, as it's a good job we kept hold of money and Jimenez stepped in very well. The majority of this team looking very good, apart from our new signing. At least he should have been a bit of a leader, as Mario Martin leads the way on rating. Same with Lucero, he's second, 85 overall. The fullbacks we got through the academy were absolutely brilliant, as Ike Bravo. 18 goals for this man, 25, 84 rated. Doing brilliantly, as where did our shape actually get us? Into the top 5, and that's Europa League, I'm pretty sure. It did say Europa League, as now we're into the Supercopa. Being a finalist in the Copa, but no, we lost in the first semi-final to another Madrid team, which is kind of harsh to take, and lost to Eibar in the round of 32. Progression in the league, but regression in the cups. At least we've kept a little money spare, and we have finished higher in the table. So hopefully the glitch with Gonzalez just disappears, and we get our keeper back. Hey, and there we go. We've got Fran Gonzalez back in the goal. Don't know what happened there. I'm trying to refrain from blaming EA, but I did leave the contract till the last month, so maybe that messed him up a little. As big props to Jimenez for covering in his position whilst out. As like I said, centre back needed, now we don't need to focus on goalkeeper, and Alenya getting old, he should be about 32. And yes, I just looked at the side and I actually find out he is 32. As also the bench on the whole could use some work, apart from Marcano. Didn't see his rating an exciting prospect, he had all that potential. And there's another player here from the start who's doing brilliantly in the central midfield. Juvenal Pereira, Cape Verde international. Still, he doesn't matter at the moment. He's only a bench player. As why does it have a big sum? Then say we've spent 25, then we've got 82. Still 82 is good enough. And I actually remember why that's gone down now. Silly me, I signed contracts and I haven't signed a lot up. Releasing a lot of players to just maybe get some more money next year. Always thinking ahead, as now with the money we have, we've got to play it tactically. Maybe weaken Real Madrid and Atleti, as they've got two centre-backs. And they've just won the league. I would have liked to get Cordero, but we have to pay his release clause, and that would be all of our budget gone. So I'll slide over to Atleti, and to be fair, they've lost a lot of good players. Their best centre-back is Silva, and again, we're not spending all our money on one player as, do you remember this man from before? Santiago Torres, the left footer, at Rayo Vallecano? Well, we're gonna take him. What a player, as he makes Jimenez drop to the bench, and Martin, you might have seen on the contract page, is retiring. Which is a shame, but look at that. Yes, I know the team's heavily youth players, but if we replace Alenya, the captain, what a squad we've got. A squad that won't be in the Europa League, because maybe the Copa messed that up. It will be in the Champions League, and don't ask me why, because I haven't a clue. You guys usually tell me how it works, so I'm going to look forward to reading your comments on it. If you do actually want to tell me, as 36 million left, with last year heavy on tactics, now we're actually putting money where our mouth is. As we could get Simon Hoffman, training for the future, and get another benchman. But we do need to get quality, as Jaime Ortiz I've looked at before. Can't actually afford him, but we could afford Oli Arblaster. A weird one. They've really trained him up to get the best out of this youngster. Currently in real life at Sheffield United in the Championship. But here is at Madrid, and not Real, not Atleti, but he's an Englishman at a Madrid side, hopefully becoming the next Jude Bellingham. And is he Bellingham level yet? Well, no, he's 83 rated. Not the worst in the world, as now this team has got me thinking that Jacobo's better than Torres. That's an unusual move, but also the formation, because Ayala, our wingers aren't doing too great. Or one winger isn't doing too great, because Marchante is on the right-hand side. 2 weeks to a cam, and I actually think he could be better off there. That's where he began, as yes, a lot of 87 rateds. We should be making the Champions League comfortably through the league this year, especially with scorers like EK Bravo and Ayala. Surprising even me, because his rating isn't even good. He could play centre mid, and also Marcano, our bench striker, is now 81 rated, the 22-year-old wonder kid, who's now going to be next to Ayala on the bench, because yes, I'm benching him. Got plans for this wing this season, but first, let's see how we've done ourselves before making any additions, as yes, it is UCL. 3 Madrid clubs out on top in La Liga. Now, can we add a trophy? Because I feel like we are lacking on that front. Oh, but Girona in the round of 16. Tournament won by Real, and again 2 Madrid clubs in the final. Vallecano that time, as we don't do too great in the Champions League. But we do squeeze through to a playoff round, just like Real Madrid did. And we get a Red Bull derby beating Leipzig 3-1. But then Manchester City, they're too strong for us. I knew we wouldn't last long. In fact, they made the final, and Real Madrid won the whole goddamn thing. Amazing for the rivals, but of course we've got to sign players, and we can only sign from Madrid clubs, so yes, I'm looking at that player there. If you can't create your own Bellingham, which we tried to do with our blaster, maybe we just go and sign him, as we will have to give up on our formation to go to this, because I want another centre mid in the squad at the moment. And you might be thinking, Max, there's Vinicius Jr. who is a winger, and there is, but he's 30-year-old, 94 overall, which is good, don't get me wrong, but we signed signed him in this rebuild. So the same treatment as Griezmann, as I thought we could maybe afford them, him and Bellingham, but I don't think we could get either one. 65 million, as there's Jude, he's 94 overall. 181 million, and his wage, I don't want to look at that anymore. I'm going to try and manifest it. I'm going to keep him on my shortlist, as maybe again, this season, we avoid actually signing a player. Don't get me wrong, it is a risky move, as we could put him in midfield. Alenia, there we go, but can we really trust that? In the Champions League, is what's our wages looking like? Oh my. Okay, a few players running out. Actually, a lot of players. Not a few. As what I'm going to do, though, all these players you see that won't play, the younger ones who haven't turned out well, I am going to try and sell. Hopefully get them out of the club as Jimenez on the transfer list, because his wage is massive and he's only 71 overall. Oh, but can we sit on this money? Do we have to try and spend something in order to improve the team, or do we just go back to what we already had? Because we were winning games, and Arblaster being a recent signing, maybe sell Martin and plus that 65 million could be enough to sign Jude Bellingham as Newcastle. 133.7, right, we'll try and negotiate that a little further. And 140 is what we get. That 7 million could be crucial in paying this man's wage, as I'm dying to get him at the club. Hey Jude, accept an offer. I mean, that wouldn't give me money for a wage. Oh my days. No, I can't pay that much. Have we really just sold one of our best players to end up not getting Jude Bellingham because we can't afford to pay it? Oh, I've made a big error. As checking out their squad, they do have another world-class centre mid, Tchouaméni, but Bellingham is the man I was really after, as I haven't really a choice. I've got to sign Tchouaméni, he's an improvement. The only issue is he's not Jude, and I know I could probably fill my bench in, but I'm going to save that 80 million in hope we can get him next year. And we have managed to improve Tchouaméni, moved him to a centre mid. As not much improvement, I've got to say, it has staggered. That's not to say ratings haven't increased, because they have on the whole. And goal scorers have increased. Again, Ayala is up there with 20, but only 81 rated, as overall in the season we've made 1 million. Somehow, as I'm hoping that money just goes towards Jude Bellingham, if we can afford him next year, as hey, we are the best club in Spain at the moment, winning the La Liga title over Atleti. But where's Real? The UCL winners down in 9th, just ahead of Getafe, behind Barcelona in 8th. Madrid finishing that low, though, could do us a favour despite them winning the Supercopa over Vallecano, as we lost to Real Madrid 4-2, getting 2 goals. Oh, and yeah, put that trophy in. I forgot to pause. Put it in the cabinet. As we lost to another Madrid 4-2 on penalties in the semi-finals in the Copa de España, as yeah, Real Madrid finishing that low could help us sign Jude Bellingham, as we finish 14th in the UCL first stage. Then we smashed Stade Brestois, and then just got squeezed past, not smashed, by Milano, as Real Madrid weren't here again. They didn't do well in Europe, as hey, no shame in that. The team we lost to won the competition. And come on, tell us that budget's worked out for us this year, because it didn't last year. 105 million. That is not enough to afford Bellingham. Then again, we can sell a player to actually go and buy the best, at the moment, central midfielder in the world, in my opinion. But then the bench isn't very strong. We've got a strong striker, not very many strong players. Then again, it's not about the bench. Could we sell our blaster? Tchouaméni and Bellingham in the midfield together could honestly work, as this man is evaluated at 65.5 million. Well, we can hope we can slide an offer in, as we're getting offered more money. 84.9 million, but I still don't think that will let us sign Bellingham, as is it a one-season wonder for Tchouaméni, who I'm going to transfer list, as maybe we could sell him. I know he is 32 years old, but I need Jude, come on. I'm even selling just pointless youth players. With the slightest grain of hope, we could actually afford afford him? As 149 million, that should take us to 249 or 254, which may actually get us him. As goodbye to Tchouaméni, you've been a great player winning the league with us, and we squeezed a little more money out, 152. I wanted to get every penny. As there is our amount, 157, after selling 2 more youngsters. As here he is selected, 29-year-old, and oh my days, the release clause on him has gone down to 225 million. So we can afford him. Now it's his wage package. We're going to offer him that crucial role. As can we afford what he's on? No, 648,000 should be enough. And it is, to my amazement, he takes the 300k wage cut to leave the 9th place team and join the La Liga title holders. One of the first times I've ever signed him, and he does fit straight into that centre mid role. As look how much it's actually cost us. We only have 8 players to suit the bench and 29 euros left. So no coaches, not even youth players, to go and fill some slots up, as now we keep our fingers crossed. Come on, Jude, do us some business. An overhead kick like Slovakia, but he doesn't do it in the league. 5th. That is stinky. Villarreal now jump above us. Real Madrid go back to their neutral position, or natural position, but we do go ahead and win a Supercopa over Osasuna, which is brilliant. They share a colour scheme with us. And that is another trophy into the cabinet, as we haven't won many overall. Still, I'm satisfied as Bilbao go and win the Copa, and we lost to Betis in the round of 16. Okay, not bad, but this is better. First in the Champions League phase. A lot of good teams join us though, so no anomalies there. Apart from maybe Newcastle, yes, I did spot that, as Fiorentina hammered 7-2, and that is the Jude Bellingham effect. As then that is the Jude Bellingham effect. We beat Manchester City 3-0, and then we beat Bayern Munich 0 again. I want to see Fran Gonzalez's growth, because he is keeping clean sheets for days. As Bellingham meets his former club, Dortmund, in the finale. And man, I am so happy to have Jude Bellingham. He's hit a 95 overall now. As we don't have to worry about youth players, we've got 4, and they're all our wide men. A few 90 rated as well. Bellingham, Gonzalez, and Bravo as our top scorer as well. I don't believe it. It's Cesar Ayala. As going into this game, I got a warning about our bench not being full, but I should have got a warning about the kit clash. Why are Dortmund wearing white against a Red Bull team? To be fair, Red Bull's got 3 colours in it, as come on, not a good start. As where is Jude Bellingham? Here he is, and he's been dispossessed, and that is really poor. We've had to block it with Torres. As here's Costa with the ball. Ollie our blaster into Bellingham. Now he needs to make up for his mistake, and that is a good ball into Ayala. Saved by Gregor Kobel. As come on, we've got to get a goal from a corner. We've got some decent centre-back. Is that a hand? I believe it is. Now, I asked you guys to vote in the last video if we should actually keep handballs on. But this one from the corner, it doesn't show you on the replay, but was as blatant as ever. So a chance from the spot kick. Ika Bravo. Do not mess this up. The keeper's been very good, but we have just beaten him. Ike Bravo used to play in the Bundesliga, so has played against Dortmund before with Bayer Leverkusen over there. Get in there, RB Madrid. Great start as an instant free kick. We just ran at them and got the ball back as Jacobo. Oh, pass it, man. You're a centre-back. But we've still kept the ball, man. Kante around his man at the back stick. That was meant to go further. For Ayala is now Garnacho. Garnacho. Some things don't change. I don't blame him if the kick clash put him off, because it's putting me a little bit off. As Ayala running with the ball, he's allowed to, is the Spaniard. Just pass it forward. That's so simple. Do not mess that up again, as it doesn't matter. We'll just keep it simple. Running inside and going for the shot. Dominant as now a corner. We swing that in. Where's Jude Bellingham for the overhead kick? It's Milovanovic at the back post. The tall man. The striker with the header. Look at this. A back heel and a neat one. I don't like that camera angle. It's shaky. But that was not shaky. Fantastic and fluid. Oh dear, no. Victor Roque. Chance for Borussia Dortmund. And oh my days, they've let the pass go through. Come on, Marchante. You're not out of steam yet. He could have passed it, but he's not going to. He's going to try and take it alone. Greedy, greedy man, as we're not going to pass him the ball back anytime soon, as Bellingham cuts inside. Is it Bellingham's turn for a goal? Would have been nice against his former club as Bellingham. Nice into Milovanovic. Skipping away from his men. Can we make make it 3-0. A tap-in pass and a tap-in for Bravo, but the keeper gets there, and that is a terrible shot. But it doesn't matter, because the whistle follows that shot, and we'll still be the ones laughing as Madrid win the Champions League. Another trophy for Red Bull. We continuously pick them up for this brand. As if you do want to see another Red Bull team, I've got a few lined up, but let me know below. Or if you don't just like the Red Bull saves, click here for 2 other videos. Ireland is an island that never gets any credit when it comes to football, with most players in the lower English leagues. The country's never had any success on the global stage in European competitions, but has produced some good players, for example, Roy Keane and Robbie Keane, as today he sits down with a Red Bull ambassador to try and talk a plan out to get Red Bull in Ireland. And they have devised a plan to make their own team in Dublin, call it Red Bull Dublin, and try and give it loads of money. As I'm going to be the manager of this club, and it doesn't start with money, we've got to work our way up and try and get through the lower leagues to take an Irish team for the first time ever to glory, going ahead and winning the Champions League title. Yes, people, Red Bull is back again. People questioning if it's real. Ellis Elliott questioning it. But I'm not questioning what we're doing. We're taking this team you see on screen to hopefully a title. A UCL title, of course, but it's going to be very difficult. Now, I know it might grind some gears, and I am sorry that I've had to do this, but I have put the Irish team in the 4th tier of England. I did want to put them in Ireland, but I didn't want to take any Irish team out, and plus, it's really hard to gain revenue in that division. So that won't happen today, but I do have Irish builds ready for the future. As the first objective we've got to do, we've got to bring through a youth player. As our medium objective, we've got to have 3 Irish players at all times in the team. Then we've got to win that UCL title, which is going to be difficult. But then we have an objective that is locked for later. Gonna have to wait on that one, as these are the players. And I do spot an Irishman. I could tell by the name McCabe, and also Rafferty, 2 midfielders that are Irish, and the other midfielder, our best player, Palmer, an Englishman, who is good. Oh no, we've got Nichols as well that's decent, Morgan, who's decent, so 3 good ones there. But I don't really care for them. We've got a youngster in Tommy Clark. We're going to loan him out, because of course he is Irish. Lavery the same. Okay, I like that our Irish are youngsters, and that's actually it. So we've got to get to that academy. Getting rid of all the current players, because they're no good and they're English. As a 1-star scout, can we afford any better? Well, we can, you know, because we've been given £6 million in the 4th division of England. That is a lot of money. And not what I expected, so I'm actually going to sack the scout. Oh, as there's a Northern Irish or Republic of Irishmen. And obviously, for the sake of Dublin being in the Republic, I'm going to use the man from the Republic, and I'm going to send the scout to the Republic. See what he can find. As in the meantime, the tactic, I am going to go for wing play, but I'm going to stick with wing backs, and I'm going to play a weird shape. As you can see, my fullbacks are both attacking. One of the midfielders is a centre half, because when we flicked it on the ball, it's actually a 4-4-2 for the level we are at. Sky Bet League 2. This could really work, as our fullback's not good shooting. But Thomas at right back, his passing is already growing, so I'd like to use him, but I have promoted our youth players through, and we do have 2 fullbacks in McHale and Mooney. Mooney actually beats Thomas, so he's got into the defense. The others can go out on loan, as we need to bring in some players to try and fit our tactic. And I did mention at the start, a lot of Irish players in these 3 divisions especially, and I want to try and utilize it, and I want it to be around for ages. As the first player we have, unfortunately from Lincoln, but Jack Moylan, who is demanding a bit of a wage for a player in League 2, but there he is, going up front. As next has to be a keeper, and I am going over to the Irish League. Brian Marr at Derry. I think he'd be good for 23, so I'll bring him across, but I'm that impressed with Derry City, I'll actually take their midfielder in Adam O'Reilly. A solid central midfielder, as I'm going to show you him because we ended on him in the first half of Season 1, as this is the team we've ended up with. Ma, the new signing, the highest rated at 24, but the strikers in Moylan and Nichols done very well. Liking the look of those, as we've got a position change, hopefully. Yes, Palmer, because he's our DM. I'm going to change him to centre-back. Did it a bit late, as if you're wondering how we didn't spend any more. 32k. The wages have been horrendous. Look at this for League 2. We've got a player almost on 20k, 16, 16, 15 for a 61 rated. Horrific, as statistically, who was our best players? Our goal scorers, of course, and then Palmer with 7 from centre-back is insane, as we did loan our players out in Gavin McHale, 57. He's not really impressed. Brewer not impressed at Kilmarnock, the young striker. And Tommy Clark the same. He has not done well over in Italy, I think that was. But we have fit in a player already, and we have fit in a promotion. Literally, same goal difference as Salford. Are we actually getting promoted? I believe on goals for, we scored 2 more goals than them. And that will put us in League 1. As Emirates FA Cup was won by Arsenal 2-1. We were out in round 1 immediately to Morecambe, who we've beaten to a promotion, and Arsenal beating everybody, as we were beaten in round 1 again, this time by Mansfield. The league above and the BSM won by Stevenage, as we made it to round 2, way past round 1, but lost on pens to Wimbledon, as I'm hoping we do get another big budget to build this team up more, as no 50 rateds any longer. But we want to make something else 50 rated, the channel, 50,000 subscribers, so if you are new around here, please consider subscribing below. And leave a like, that really does help the algorithm push the videos out. As £5 million to spend, so it's roughly the same as last year. But I'm feeling a little bit different. Usually the squad you have in League 2 is good enough for League 1, but I don't feel this squad is. Rafferty, one of our Irish players, unfortunately a little bit weak. McCabe, the same. Arnold didn't get played in the defence. Gave game time to Thomas, who I'm guessing had better passing, but I do not want him playing. I want to find my own players. And a difference has had to be made because the wages, I didn't expect them to be that high. We've had to downgrade our scout, but still, we're going to send him to Ireland. Looking for a defender or midfielder, but not desperate for those, because we're going to sign a midfielder. And I'm going to look for an Irishman in the Irish League, because I really liked shopping there last year. Worked with Derry City, but I couldn't find anything else there. As Dawson Devoy at Bohemians, I believe he was at MK Dons. Still looks a decent, tidy player. Yeah, small wage, small age, and a bag of potential. And I do like the team he's come from. I'm going to check there again. Anyone else from Bohemians? Preferably a midfielder? James Clark looks decent, but we don't play cams in our formation. All my days in Liam Smith. He played for Grimsby last year. Dale Rooney. Ross Tierney, another cam? Not really what I was after, so I'm going to go for my final player from the Irish division this season, John Mahon. Pronunciation probably butchered, but budgets are not, because we've got a few Irish players in with decent ratings for not much money. Very good work, as our youth scouts are on fullbacks, which we could probably use next if they don't find anything worthwhile, as this is what they've brought in. Yep. Nothing great. Some young players here, and McCaffrey with big potential at only 14. And I think this is when I loan some players out. As yeah, why not? Let's loan Neil Mooney out for a season. A talented player, got promoted with him, but 61 rated, probably League 2 level. For now, as 2 million, that's $1 million for each side. And the perfect first player, running out of contract at Notts County, Lamine Sai. What a player, 22 years old. He's definitely coming in, but we've got to find another fullback. So I've gone over to Donny for the left back, James Maxwell. Love the player due to the name, not the club that he's just come from, as also out on loan. Now the same rating is Mooney. Gotta speak on that because he's probably replaced straight away, as here are the ratings immediately. We do have it to 74 at the club. And I definitely didn't stumble on my words at surprise at Ma. He came from from Derry City, 25-year-old, but already 74. And keepers last a while in saves. The rest of the team, though, it is not very good. I mean, Moylan's in the 70 club. I'd be astonished if we were promoted with this team, as Flynn's done okay, Flaherty's done alright. I mean, Boyle's hit a 62. We just don't play left mids, that's our only issue. As goal scorers, our three strikers, with Jack Moylan leading the way. 20 goals is good, but I do not expect a promotion, and we don't go and get a promotion. We finished 17th. Clear of relegation by 10 points, and that's good as a surprise in the FA Cup. Going to West Ham, and I think at this point they would have sacked Lopetegui. Can't be him, as we reached round 4 and lost to Newcastle, and we reached round 3 of the Carabao, actually losing to Manchester City. Decent cup runs as they lost in the final, and then the Papa Johns, we lost in the BSM in round 3. And hopefully something to make us better in season number 3 actually isn't FIFA related, but what's just arrived in the mail. My Christmas jumper. Look at it. You're going to see it so much more in more videos if you're subscribed to the channel, as this is how the team looks. McCabe has to come out, and then our right hand side again. Mahon and Sai are players we literally just did sign, but could find themselves on the bench, as we have Arnold, who was already here, waiting on another left back who we could go and play at right back. In Mooney, one of our own, and he would count as a youth player, as not getting promoted has took a big hit to our budget. Oh my days, can we afford the academy? It's a one-star scout as well. I'm gonna force it through this year, but we've really got to use that money for signings. So off he goes to Ireland to try and find the next Seamus Coleman, who has retired, by the way, because I really wanted to sign him. But I think it's a year off Irish players, because Devoy is only 24, O'Reilly 25, Mar is almost 25. Or actually no, he's turned 25 in the off-season, never mind. And yeah, I feel like we do have players that are here to grow in the long term. So we need players for now, and yes, I'm going to go for the midfielder first. In this man, now in the league below, Exeter were relegated. So Jake Richards, the Englishman, should cost around $1 million. Or ignore me, 550k is a steal. I have no idea how we got him that cheap, but it leaves us money for defenders. But in the meantime, we have some back in Flaherty and Mooney. As Mooney into the team, but we still need to replace Mahon and change some positions around. Right, Goo we can start with. He could go to a cam, but then again, we don't play it in this formation. We could do in the future, as Boyle could also be a cam, but he's closer to a striker, so I'm going to train him to be up front. Despite this being our 3rd season, we're definitely in a building stage. As Ollie Cassie, right. He could be our entire budget, because we could get him for 1 million. He's running out of contract in the league below. Plus, we started with 2.3 million, and we've only spent 550. So I'll allow myself to push the boat out. The first player over 1 million is Casey, and he goes central in our defense. Yes, and it made the difference. We have gone and done it. In our run to the Champions League title, finally we're out of League One. 10 defeats is a lot, you know, but 90 points to stack up that many. Unbelievable from us, and unbelievable from Huddersfield. Winning the division, as we're actually not at the end of the month, so the FA Cup final hasn't been played. Good luck to Brentford this time. West Ham's already won it. We've got to wish the other team it as round 3. We lost to Wimbledon, a little bit of a shame in the FA Cup. Would like to go far in that, as Brighton win the Carabao, a 3-0 over City, as we lose 3-0 to Bolton. And hopefully our final season in the BSM is lost, because us ourselves didn't make it out the group stage. Shame as well is that, as this is how the team is doing, and I made a change last minute, putting Sai in at right back. To guarantee Mooney some game time at left back, unfortunately Maxwell has gone to the bench, but not unfortunate for this team. Moylan now 74, we've got Ma who's a 74, and Richards, what a growth. What a growth spurt by the 62 rated when he actually came to the club, as this team should survive in the Championship. With Nichols our top scorer, so I don't don't think we actually replace him. As this is us in the Championship in season number 4. Usually takes 5 seasons to get to the Premier League, but I don't think we'll be doing that this year. 60s in the squad, including Nichols, who's our starting striker, who did score most goals, but on the bench, a 56 rated? That is not Premier League worthy, and I did just test the contracts. We're paying more out with them, and we do only have 6 million now. Gave a new one to Moylan, and now he's on 18k. So yeah, we're going to get expensive here. We're going to have to pay more out contract-wise, but here we go. We might have another striker here. Casey Boyle is now a forward, so he's probably our bench option. Maybe just to the loan pile again for him, as we do have a fair few left-backs. We'll try sell James Maxwell, also Aiden Arnold. Already submitted a transfer request. It's these guys that I'm worried about, because Morgan's 31, Palmer's 31. So let's get them out of here. I want to restructure our back line. With Dominic Morgan out first, $1 million to LA Galaxy. Then Max Palmer to Young Boys. Maxwell to Oxford. I really wish it worked out with him. Giving us 10 million to spend now in the Championship. A lot better. So let's start off with some centre-backs. Of course, we've got to look at Ireland. Only issue is now we do need the best of the best. Anselmo Garcia Mac N something, that's a long name, which I don't fancy repeating, as maybe this guy, 23 years old. Alex Murphy at Newcastle, if we could try and get him on a loan to buy, that could be a good deal, but his contract length is too short, which to be fair doesn't bother me, because I'll just pay less for him anyway. Buy him up front, as we've still got a hefty amount of money, £5 million, and that is piling all into one player, as I don't consider us promotion pushers, but we've got to try and think like them. So despite the hard name to say, I've got Ansel Garcia McNulty. I hope I've got that right, as his rating hasn't even changed. The team hasn't really changed apart from Nichols up front. Boyle comes into the 11, and yeah, is it good enough for the Premier League? No. Not at all in the slightest. Kinda don't want to be promoted with the team we have, as Mar is our best player, our goalkeeper, and then our striker. A lot of Irish decent players I like. I've got Irish with the spine, and then our loanees, they've done a bit more brilliantly. We'll check on them next year and hopefully get them played in the Championship, as Moylan 17 goals, Boyle got 16. And that's why he's in the starting 11, as with 4 billion in budget somehow, and oh my days, how have we done this? Second in the Championship. Are you being real? 1 point over Burnley. Okay, I don't know how to feel about this. It's a promotion, of course. I should be happy. Yippee, hooray. But I feel like it's a waste of time, because I feel like we're going to get relegated again. I've got some big building to do to stay up, as West Ham winning the FA Cup again, and we lose in round 3. At least it's not glitched like our budget was. Manchester City win the Carabao, as we lost in the quarterfinals to Burnley in our league, or might not be in our league for long. Yeah, this is the first time I think I've ever come to the Premier League. Imagine what it will be like when we get relegated, because I am not counting on this team at all. We have got a few of our loanees back who do look decent players on paper, but when you hear the locked objective, which does open now we're in the Premier League, and it's so much more difficult, being we can only sign Republic of Ireland players this season. We do have over 3 in the squad, and the budget's still glitched out a little. Not getting that 2 billion in the middle, we're getting 33 to spend this year. And it should be good enough for more Irish players, but when you look, we've only got 4 players at the club over 75 rated, plus contracts running out, and now we're in the Prem, they're going to hike up, which we really can't afford to pay. We're in a bit of a predicament here. As do I try doing a Luton Town. Now, I've got to look for Irish players, but if I just look in the Championship, take the best from the league below, A, we might survive, and B, if we do get relegated, we then have the best players in that division, as there's plenty of good Irishmen, including this man, the striker. We have Moylan at the minute, but Sinclair Armstrong of Bristol City, 25, 6 foot, pacey as well, so I'll take him. I don't think he'll be here very very long. I'm just hoping he can take us back up again when we inevitably go down, because that's what we're going to do. If we definitely don't sign any defenders, Mooney I'll keep in the team, as there's no good right backs in the championship. So we've got to go out for the best Irish man, which is Sam Curtis. He's the best right back option, as we're going to look for a better centre back. And at least we found a good one of these. The highest Irish rated player, Nathan Colley's the centre back. He's come from Brentford, but still with him it's going to be a huge ask to survive, hence going with a very deep line. If we've survived with these players, who to be fair have now gone very much up, Nathan Collins an 83, Maran Richards an 82. Love that from Richie Rich, and then an 80 in Moylan. Yeah, if we've survived with this team, it's a bigger achievement than getting up. In the first place, as Moylan, Armstrong and Devoy, that is a lot of goals for a team that should be relegated. Maybe dropping deep has helped us, because you know, our defence has improved, both in the first team, and we had a lot of bench defenders. Piled them on as we didn't have any money left. We put everything into survival. Oh my days, and we've done it. How have we stayed up? I mean, we took Brentford's best defender, Collins, and it might have worked because they crashed down Everton and Bournemouth. Yes, Dublin, Red Bull Dublin survived. Feel I should be putting a trophy in the cabinet, and that's probably why Bournemouth went down, focusing on the cup that does put them in Europe. And should we have focused on this cup? Should we have took a relegation? One step back for 2 steps forward, and tried to win a cup as Liverpool win the Carabao. And we were out early doors to Palace on penalties. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. We do have some 80 rateds, one in each position on the field, which is good, but things that aren't good. Curtis's rating really, Garcia, McNulty, but hey, next season, we don't just need Irish players. But it's still going to be majorly difficult in this Premier League. As from the achievement of getting promoted and surviving, and now having that, 15 in the Premier League, that is not enough for a team that's just got promoted from League One. Birmingham have more in real life, as do we have to sell our best players. Collins, because we've got a lot of defenders at the club. Mark could be sold, he's running out of contract, is our goalkeeper. Or even Jack Moylan, who does get most of our goals. But there's a striker I've not mentioned, and I am not talking about Armstrong, I'm talking about one who's currently not at the club. And he's one I am desperate for. I've wanted since I started the save, and that is Evan Ferguson, but still we're a little bit off. I'm going to be carefully watching his contract, because I don't want him going to a bigger club, and I don't want his rating going up, because I found the second best Irish player, Cashin, who we don't need. We've got a lot of defenders at the moment, as we've got to buy to sell. And I'm kind of thinking up front, Armstrong or Moylan, because in fairness, when we look at the bench, we do have Boyle, 21, 73 rated. We fine in that position, or do we just focus on defence even more, because 2 77s, and they're both past 26. So yeah, if we try and sell one of those, as I'm still rocking this 5-3-2, I've loved doing it, but still, we've got to come off deep. Got to utilise them fullbacks, as yes, I'm not even changing what they do. They're still attacking. They're attacking the Premier League. One thing I am going to change though, Armstrong and Moylan. I want Moylan being the attacker and Armstrong in the false 9. Just going to try it for a season, as these 3 players listing themselves. But I've gone and listed Anselmo and Ollie. I will be gambling on another centre-back, as we've got offers in here. Barry Flaherty, our backup, 6 million from Tottenham. And also Neil Mooney, but just because they're from the academy, I don't want to sell them. I'm going to stick to the players in the team. They're the ones I want out, and we've got a lot of money on the table for Ollie. As goodbye Casey, he's going to Fiorentina, stepping us up to 32 million, which is double what we paid for Collins. So an 80 rating has to be the rating of the player we sign. And I won't waste your time with it. It is an 82 rated and a 24-year-old Spielers, the Belgian. A good player, as you can see, fits straight into our defence, looking a lot stronger if it wasn't for our pesky fullbacks. Is it their attacking focus putting them off? I don't know. As yes, we're getting into the 80 rated club now, and I'm loving our Premier League status being upheld more than last year, because now I actually feel like we should be staying here. With Jake Richards leading the way, unfortunately not Irish, but 22. Amazing potential, and he should keep going up as our strikers are our top scorers. Really love the way we're playing. Then again, Moylan got lost goals, so I'm just going to swap them two around. Did them both good rating wise, but yeah, I want most goals from our players. As in the league, a very good season. It's 9th for RB Dublin, but there is bigger surprises in there. Hull got into the Premier League. Southampton down on 17 points. United in 15th. Can we look at some of their players? They don't have any Republic of Irish players. I know, of course, they have Johnny Evans. Probably retired now as we lose in the FA Cup to Chelsea. But then the Carabao gets in there. Our first trophy is the Carabao Cup. And does that actually put us in Europe? Ireland already in Europe as we beat Villa in the final. We beat Arsenal, Fulham, and do secure that first major honour, which was needed to get us off the mark as we've gone from fearing relegation and even fearing promotion to now being in the Conference League. Objective win the cup, but my overall objective improve this team, and I'm looking straight at the strikers. Yes, our fullbacks are weak, but we've still got a player in mind, and 32 million if we add that to selling a player. Where is he now, my favourite? I really need to get him at the club. Evan Ferguson, who has just made a move to Leipzig. As I'll try strike when the iron's hot, I'm going to sell Sinclair Armstrong. We've got Casey Boyle, who can cover in the meantime until we get our best player, which I'm hoping we can do as we're getting offers for some of our bench players. Toby Cunningham, I think he's been here the entire save, starting at the club, but this man won't be starting any longer. As goodbye Sinclair Armstrong, and we've got more than we needed for him. Roma sure do have some money, as now £67 million. Yes, we're only making a signing a season, but this one should be a bigger one. Desperate to have him at the club, as how much can we offer him? I'm going to play it safe, just 60 million up front, and that was agreed upon. Now his wage, this is going to be tricky. Just chuck most of our money at him. We've only got a few contracts to sign, as we've signed this man. Get in, Evan Ferguson. What a player. Get in there. He's actually currently playing for Ireland. Also Collins and Marr. I feel harsh on O'Reilly and Garcia. Moylan, we've really turned the Irish lads good. Definitely enough in our squad, as do we play in poacher? Or do we try target forward? See, this could be better for him. A little further forward, Moylan's comfortable as a false nine, but I am going to change the wing backs because I don't like that in Europe. Take them off focus and make them just balanced. I think that's our play. And can we play in Conference League? And I love this man already. He's already 88 rated. He better have scored some goals, as the highest at the club is Jake Richards. Unbelievable trajectory. He's actually younger than Ferguson, as Ferguson outscored by Boyle, Devoy and Moylan. What is all that about, as this is how our team looks? I mean, Colin hasn't been played much. Then again, we're over 80 in every position. Moylan's done well. He was our first signing, and the bench pretty good, apart from Cunningham and Sai. Goo's done pretty well. I mean, he's just improved by being in the squad and placed upon the bench, but he still doesn't want to be a cam where we need him to be, although we don't play a cam position. We've just finished first in the Premier League. Now, I know we've got a good squad and all, but that is ridiculous. Top of the tree, only 4 defeats, beating Manchester City. Can Dublin just slow down a little? But we are going to add that trophy, of course, because it's honestly getting on my nerves. I wanted to take it steady progress. Jumping steps ahead, as we also lost in an FA Cup semi. Oh my days, and lost in a final of the Carabao to Spurs. How it could have been back-to-back, and how it could have been 3 trophies. This team just leapfrogs the next objective each time. We're in the Champions League now, as we championed the Conference League. Cruyff up there, we've just recently been in Romania, hammering everyone with FCSB as we hammer NEC Sidemen. Probably butchered that name as we went ahead and butchered Frankfurt. Then we won against Cruyff, but there's a few things wrong with this one. 3-2 to us, and then we won on penalties, but the 3 is at their side. Don't get that, as it didn't put us in the final. Right, Sinclair Armstrong's gone and won it with Roma, but how weird. Don't get me wrong, we're in the Champions League now. I don't care too much, but that is another semi-final loss and a weird one just kicking us out. Still, how am I getting annoyed about losing the Conference League semi-final when we literally just won the Premier League? And look at the big budget. Almost lost all my breath there, and did our tactic change help us? I mean, it seems like it did do. We've got almost 290 rated in the attack and in the midfield, and then we've got 287s in the defense. I'm surprised we won the title. But then looking at the rest of the team, we were kind of worthy winners. I mean, when you do look, they have decent players. City, who was second place, that is. Oh my days, they've got decent ones. Yeah, they shouldn't lose the title. A few 90s, a few 85s. And that's what we've got to gather, so let's try and look for some good ones. As my thought process behind this is we can't have long to win the UCL left. We've got to be close with 90 rated, so I'm going to go 30 plus. And look for some gems as, okay, this man's definitely not a gem. Thibaut Courtois, at least we won't face him in the UCL final. If we played Madrid, and if we played him this year as the next up, I am going to check through all the goalkeepers, but Alisson, no good. I am not taking him on board. However, Edison, ooh, 85 overall. This man can allow us to sell what we currently have, and why did he just say 11 million? Then flick his market evaluation to 2.1. I mean, I won't moan. I'll definitely take him for the ballpark region of, I believe, 4 million plus a high wage for him, which I didn't mind paying because he now sits behind our defense and allows us to sell Ma, our 86 rated backup now. With him sold at 30, we could probably get around 50 million. Maybe cheeky of me to ask for that, but still, that goes a long way. In stacking up our bench, stacking up our first team, as now we'll have 130 million with him selling for 50, like I said. And first things first, we definitely need a right back. I'd say another centre back. As Mooney I'm going to keep. I think he can make the UCL final. When we do make it, as I'm going to steal from Juventus. Martin Fernandes, the Portugueser, plays at right back. I think he's gone and signed for us because we just offered 50 million and my game has froze. Again, EA, fix your game. At least it's come through, and to be fair, I haven't updated the next title update because I wanted to do a Red Bull video and didn't want to break the mod pack. At least we've got him in now, and we're going to go bold. Not bald. I thought it was bald till I saw the very bleached hair. Zeno de Bast, building a little Belgian defensive link-up around the main man Nathan Collins, as that looks a lot better. Yes, the midfield could be a bit stronger, but 20 million left, and we're not going to go mental with it. Trusting Cunningham because he's been here a long time as some decent defenders, another decent midfielder, and we're probably set on the bench. So with the leftover Ma money, I'm going to spend 18 million on Akin Sanmiro, a centre mid from Inter. A nice 81 rated for the bench. Very good backup. But it's not about the backup, is it? It is about this first team squad. Ferguson, Moylan. I mean, we've got a 90 in the defense now, a 90 in the midfield. Jack Richards, or Jake, whatever his name is. You might not be able to hear me for the thunder. Happening in real life, yes, 90 rated 24. From Jude Bellingham to Jake Richards, as who was our top scorer though? Yes, who I wanted it to be. Of course, it's Evan Ferguson. Finally coming good. Get in there, but not in the league. All my day 6th. I mean, it was 2 points off UCL football. Back down to earth losing games, but we don't lose the Community Shield. That is one over Liverpool. Get in there. Big win. But we don't count that trophy, as Chelsea won the FA Cup on penalties over Everton, as we went and lost to Brentford, and lost to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, the 3rd round in fact. Won by Liverpool, so they got the better trophy. That's better than the Community Shield. We've essentially won a glorified dinner plate, as that is a terrible finish as well in the UCL 15th. Another Red Bull club was there in Salzburg as we had to qualify and did over Benfica 4-2. That makes me feel a lot better. Going into the round of 16 as we did steal one of Inter's midfielders and then went and beat them 3-2. What a huge win. No bigger than this win though, because in the quarterfinals, look at the teams. Atleti won, Strasbourg, Salzburg, and we beat Paris to then get us into the semis where we did beat Atletico Madrid 5 back against 5 back, but look at the other semi. We didn't get lucky with playing Salzburg or Strasbourg, but Salzburg ended up winning that leg, and you do know what that means. It is a Red Bull derby for the first time, I believe, in this Red Bull career mode thing. Video series, playlist, whatever you want to call it, and that is amazing. Can't happen in real life, but it's going to happen here. And do we stick with our lineup? I think we've got to, really. No real change in tactics. Don't want to go deep, don't want to go counter-attacking, but go on, I'll sneak our fullbacks back to attack focused. And 2 reasons for doing that. The first one, it's Salzburg, and we should realistically be beating, and it wasn't a tactic working in the Prem. Sure, it has got us to this final, but it didn't work, and no, why didn't it give us our home kit? We're in our bloody dark green one. Still, I went with very dark green because I did want to get the Irish colours in there, as that is a good header. Evan Ferguson with a spin-off. It's Jake Richards. Go on, 90 rated. Linking up. Ferguson with the touch and then the smack. And is that a penalty kick? Is this straight away a penalty as the thunder goes on outside of me? And that was not handball, was it? Was that actually a foul? I don't know, but I'll take this. It's going to be Moylan, our day 1 striker, our number 10 at the club, who puts us 1-0 ahead already. And I can't get my head around it. What is going on here? How have we got a penalty? How are we 1-0 up already? This doesn't feel like the game started. That is a solid finish as well. The keeper stood no chance, and we've got very lucky, if we can even call it that, as Ferguson spinning out right now. He's coming back to get him play a lot. We do need him staying up front. He is our target forward, as the false 9 trying to get him behind. That is not his job. It is Mooney's job to get him behind. Our attacking wing back, attacking at their defender. Van der Bremt kicking it out. Come on, Mooney, get the ball straight back in play. Come on, we should react quicker than these. We should have higher ratings. We're just not proving overall to be better, as Bobby Clark, I can't believe he signed on a permanent with the miss. That is a very close chance, you know. Their manager and owner will be very happy with the way things are going, not because they're doing better, because any team that wins is his club. The owner of them is the owner of us, because it is Red Bull, as Fernandez, our right back, cutting inside, shooting on the left foot. Terrible shot, you know, though, as Moyan with the ball around the side, and Martin Fernandez this time turns provider towards Ferguson. Not being who I wanted him to be, as now Perez. That is a good tackle on him, Martin Fernandez. We really need a second goal here to show that we're better than a penalty, as the man who gave the handball away just goes into the book for a foul. And Martin Fernandez, if we're onside right here with Ferguson, he's offside and he's done poorly. Should be doing a lot better, as come on, let's just play our normal game. How we've been flowing through the divisions, we've got to get back to that, as that is a terrible cross. Moylan as well. Very poor from our strikers today, but then Nathan Collins into Richards. Moylan, I'm saying's poor, but he scored the winner as it stands into Martin Fernandez. Ball into the box, and Ferguson with the header. Should have had the deciding goal, and the winner for definite as Devoy with the whipped-in ball. That looked handball, but no. It goes to the edge of the box for Spielers, who gets the ball back down. Still, it's all over the place. Salzburg looking to counter as well in the 90th minute, and that is a brilliant pass into their striker, Fernando, to stick it home. I actually don't believe it. We have not deserved to win this game. If it wasn't for the jammy penalty, we'd be going home. We'd be done. We'd be finished. We'd be toast. I can't believe how bad we've been and how good Salzburg's game plan is. In the past, we've smashed Paris, Real Madrid, a few of those in rebuilds, but Salzburg really forcing us into a struggle. Before you know it, it'll be penalties. There's a ball into the box right there. It demands a save. And that is an open goal missed. That is another chance for us, you know, to try and steal this game. And that is a foul. Isn't he on a yellow? I think he is. That's him off the field. Sandberg sent walking. You can tell by the top corner, the red card. Come on now. We've got extra time to turn this around. Devoy has a man on his back, gives it into Martin. If he can just whip that down low. Ferguson hits the post. Harder to hit the post than actually score, Evan Ferguson. Come on, you're not doing Ireland proud. We've got to do it here with Dublin. Come on, look at the gaps in the defence. It seems like they haven't plugged them, and Moylan finds the Ferguson in the middle to make up for his miss. Evan Ferguson, they've got 10 men. They haven't changed their defence at half-time of extra time. Get in there. Our number 9 finally makes a difference. Glorious to see. The man I did want to score here. We've got our OG from day one, Moylan, and now the beautiful Evan Ferguson. Their game plan destroyed from the moment they got a man sent off, as now Moylan, come on, we're free. We're just free to run at them all day long. As could it be 3? Moylan, that is a very good ball, almost. But Gloken catches it out, and we're being brilliant in the entirety as DeBast comes across and summons the final whistle. It is a 2-1 win for Red Bull over Red Bull. That will see us lift the trophy, but still, I don't want to watch it this way. We don't actually have a trophy in the game, unless that's fixed in the patch, which I don't have downloaded, so yes, we'll put it in the cabinet, and then we'll watch the bus display, probably going through the centre of Ireland, as Red Bull's far from done. If you do want to see another place, comment which place down below, or if you don't want Red Bull, click my hand.